6:30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
How much would I have made off my likeness at Ashland University is the real question. That's what I was thinking about the last 24 hours.
Well,
how about you at Murray State?
I feel like
just think of all the beard stuff you could have done.
Well, I feel like for you, it depends how big a family you have. Let's be honest here. Did you come from a big family or a small family?
My mom did have 6 brothers and sisters.
Oh, there you go, man. Hundreds.
My
Literally
one aunt,
hundreds.
or aunt, as you guys would call it around here, had 7 kids.
Okay.
Now, they don't like me, any of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
But maybe they would be supportive
you
anyway.
You have to respect. Yeah, you still have to show your respect. Man, yeah, so if you got that big a family, you could have made a killing.
Yeah, could have made a killing, I guess. We'll talk about the NCAA rule and the likeness. By the way, again, you're just like ghostwriting everything these days. There you go again. I mean, this is your rule.
Or maybe I'm just intelligent where things that I say come true.
Not like you were the first one to ever say that.
No, I mean, this is kind of a common thing.
Is it coming to Florida?
But I speak into existence, Brent.
I
speak it into existence.
You did do that. I spoke today to a group, Rotary group and Mennonite group at Timuquana Country Club, and that question came up. You know, and I do think it's kind of controversial kind of thing. I think Tebow helped it be a little controversial too, but he's not the only one that feels that way. And I think Tebow is at the forefront of it from what he views and also the way it was when he was there and still is in Gainesville because of how popular he was. I mean, is he the most popular college athlete of all time?
I mean, yes, but in my lifetime for sure.
Yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. Yeah,
I can't go back to like Bo Jackson and explain on from that level, but I think from globally, you know, with the rise of social media and coverage, you have to go with Tim Tebow. I feel like
he's in the running. Let's just say that we know that.
Yeah, I'd say Johnny Manziel is up there too, but I mean, maybe not for the best of reasons, but he's up there as well.
And it feels like it was like 15 minutes of fame almost now that it's gone.
Exactly.
You know, so Tebow's fame hasn't really left him. So maybe, I know that wasn't just college, but it feels like that way with the Tebow versus maybe a Manziel situation. Speaking of Tebow, one funny note, did you see the Heisman commercial? You know, they do all these Heisman commercials.
Yeah.
The Heisman commercial with Kyler Murray and Bo and Tebow on the baseball stuff. Have you seen that one?
I've seen maybe they're kind of out late, right? And then they come.
Well, they're all in the house, and Murray comes through the door, and he's carrying his baseball card.
Yeah.
And I think Derrick Henry's the guy at the fridge.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really amazing if you think about it.
Sure.
A couple things. Derrick Henry and Tebow, Jacksonville guys. It hits you there like, dang, man, they're Heisman Trophy winners with Bo Jackson and Eddie George and all these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't celebrate some of this stuff enough. I mean, that's amazing. They're from Jacksonville. We got 2 Heisman Trophy winners. I think that's a really cool thing. But it also hits you that, wow, all 3 guys in that group were dual sport guys. I hesitate to say stars because we don't know where Kyler Murray would have been at the professional level. I know he got drafted high. And obviously Tebow's, I mean, you can almost argue he's fizzling out, even though he's given it a little bit of a run. And Bo Jackson is Bo Jackson. But it's pretty wild that how they made that correlation between the two. I like that spot.
Well, and it was like Kyler Murray comes in the house, he kind of breaks what he did. And doesn't Bo Jackson follow him, and then Bo Jackson kind of one-ups him a little
bit?
Triple,
home
exactly.
Run.
Yeah, that was a great commercial.
That's probably been out for like months, and I just saw it the other day.
No, I think that was newer because like the one that I've always seen was where Kyler Murray shows up for like the first day, and he's rocking his pink suit instead of his jersey.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, and they're all just kind of giving him crap for wearing the pink suit.
It's a good little run.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there have been commercials that have nice runs, and sometimes over years, and I like what they do with those.
For sure.
I think it's a pretty good thing. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars. Hey, we've been talking for 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, I don't know, and haven't mentioned the Jaguars. What's up with that? The Jags have an off day today. That's why there's nothing new coming out of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we won't talk them because there's so much left over from yesterday. We said it. We could have done a 6-hour show yesterday on the Jags. They're a 2-2 football team. They've rescued their season. This is fun stuff going on in Jacksonville. And now you can say it's fun. See, I think it's entertaining and fun because I work in the business. And to me, I put Ramsey in the category. Some people think, well, stop talking about Jalen Ramsey. I'm done hearing about Jalen Ramsey and let me know when something happens. Well, I think we're almost to that point with Jalen Ramsey. We've exhausted every opportunity to talk about a different angle with Jalen Ramsey. Now it is kind of like what happens next. Will he show up to practice tomorrow? Will his back be tight? Will he be healthy? Will they trade him? Will they keep him? Well, those things are unwritten. And we've talked about it at length now. So now it's just, okay, let's see what happens next. So even if you're in that camp, now I say, now this is fun stuff. Is Fournette for real again? Is he back? Is this team going to go on a run? Look at the schedule ahead. Watch Cincinnati last night, and you put that one down as a W, didn't you?
Can you flex a Monday night game? Because that was a rough one last night.
That was bad. Some of the Monday night games.
And I understand. I mean, they schedule these things so far in advance, so you can't flex the game. Obviously, I'm joking. But, man, yeah, it wasn't the most entertaining game last night.
ESPN has not been given the best games.
They haven't.
And I've long
it's
said
not their
this,
fault.
And maybe we'll talk about this,
Yeah.
but I've said this for years. Monday Night Football is not what it used to be. Yeah. It's not. It's the third thing. And in fact, I may argue it's the fourth thing. It's Sunday Night Football has become the prime one.
Yep.
That game on Sunday where everybody's used to watching. And now that's the nighttime game, and they get good games, usually very good
that's
games.
That's because you can kind of pick them, though, right? You can kind of flex to that position as well.
But what I'm saying is yes, you can later in the year.
So,
but the NFL is saying that's our prime spot.
Sure.
Well, Thursday used to be like this throwaway. Well, you got to get every team on. Throw the Jags in Tennessee on again. Okay.
Throw some crazy jersey colors out there.
Throw some,
make the
what
fans happy.
Fox did is they came in and said, hey, whoa, we ain't paying $1 billion or whatever it is. I think it was really like $600 million, I think, for this long deal for you to give us just a crap game. So give us good games. Well, they've beefed those games up. You get a Philadelphia Green Bay last week, right? You get, what do we got this week? Seattle and the Rams?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So that is now second fiddle. And what I would say is, and maybe the next time slot, I know we're kind of putting it in prime time, but I think the next slot, well, is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. Those are the you're going to get maybe the Cowboys and the Niners or whatever. Name your game. But like last week's game, I mean, the Broncos and the Jags, okay. I mean, you're going to get the mixed bag. But that 4 o'clock window combined with the numerous games at 1 o'clock, and then I think it's the Monday night game. Yeah. So I actually think they are like the last on the totem pole right now. And this is a little bit of Disney's fault.
Okay.
ESPN's fault, ABC's fault. I don't know whose fault, but along those lines, ESPN has become almost like a network, not just a cable outlet, but they're like a network. But when they changed the Monday Night Football game from ABC, which is a traditional network, and put it just on ESPN, it lost a little something. And so I believe that was at the same time now as Sunday Night Football's coming up, and they're adding Thursday football. And also at the same time where you're losing your top announcers from that Monday night game. And now you're trying to find who their replacements are. So I think actually ESPN hurt themselves, or ABC or Disney or whoever, hurt themselves a little bit on that Monday night game and not putting it on ABC because you're putting Dancing with the Stars on ABC or Bachelorette or whatever it is now on Monday nights. So I think they've kind of made their own bet a little bit, and the NFL has shown it to be less significant.
Yeah.
And until ESPN really comes up with, and I think Joe Tessitore's really good, but they took a couple of college guys and put it on Monday Night Football. Really, Tessitore was doing college. He does a lot of everything, the boxing and stuff, and he's really good.
Yeah.
But they took him and Booger.
Booger McFarland.
And I should say his last name, huh? Because somebody just says Booger. You just say Booger? Yeah, Booger McFarland.
Yeah.
But so people are trying to get used to that. And I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying they're trying to get used to it.
It's different.
And it's an acquired taste.
People get accustomed to, like the Joe Buck, Troy Aikmans, and they want to hear that the whole time. Yeah, I get you.
So long story short, I love talking about this stuff in the business, but I do believe it is fourth fiddle probably in terms of lineup of games, and I think it shows. I mean, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, even at the outset of the year, was that really that great of a game on a Monday night?
I mean, to be fair, you didn't really know what Cincinnati was bringing to the table, assuming A.J. Green was going to be healthy. They had some pretty good offensive weapons. You had John Ross, you had Mixon. So I think they were serviceable. And then you got, Pittsburgh with Ben Roethlisberger, Smith-Schuster. So I think the possibility was there. And you have to remember, too, they're two division rivals, right? I mean, every time they play each other, it seems like a real slobber knocker. But, with the injuries to Big Ben and A.J. Green and, all that whole thing.
Yeah, no more Bell, no more Brown.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good
So it hasn't been good. Yeah, you get a little bad luck, too.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes that just happens. You can't have good games every week and every night.
Because this is Monday Night Football wasn't that Kansas City, the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams?
Was that crazy game.
Yeah, that was Monday Night Football,
too. Right.
So, I mean, there's every once in a while, there's a prime time one that's,
Absolutely.
up there. But,
Absolutely. So anyway, I want to talk about the Jags. I know we just got, but that Cincinnati game, that's how we got on this, is like, whoa, okay, they are not good. Now, things change in 3 weeks.
Yep.
But they are not a good football team.
Things change in a week, Brent.
They do.
All of a sudden, Tampa Bay goes to L.A. and scores 50-something points on the Rams.
Yeah, and they couldn't beat the Giants.
Exactly.
So it's a bizarre league. So I caution you to get too excited about that. But at the same time, what we've said is get through the first 6 games.
Correct.
And then you have teams like Cincinnati and the Jets, and they don't scare you. What I say about those kind of games is if your season is going to be any good, you win those kind of games. Now, you might beat a Saints team that's really good on paper and lose to a Jets team that's not. That's the NFL. That can happen. But as long as you make it up for it by beating a team that you might have lost to or should have lost to, I think it's okay. The bottom line for me now is you look at the schedule all the way out, and the Saints are still pretty good, but you look at the schedule, and it's very, very manageable. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about Josh Lambo a little bit.
Yeah.
This dude has been unbelievable.
Unsung hero, too, I think, from that Denver game.
Unbelievable just how good he is. I mean, how much can he keep this up? We talk about a guy like Minshew and how magical he's been. Well, now a guy like Lambo's been doing this for 2 years, and knock on wood, but how long can you do that? I mean, how long can you kick at 94% make rate? And they are so confident in him. He's got a great demeanor. He's got a little personality, a little swagger to him. He's a fun dude, and kind of like Minshew. I know he's a kicker, and it shows you the difference, but Lambo's kind of his own little guy, too.
Oh, yeah, man. He's
little guy.
His own guy. He's kind of a stylish dude, as opposed to kickers aren't really, I consider, no offense to kickers out there, Scobie talking to you, not necessarily maybe the most stylish guys out there, but I think, kind of Josh Lambo brings like that new swag to the kicking game. I mean, former soccer player in his own right. So, he's got this whole hat collection too. He's rocking and everything. So he's got a little something about him, man. And I feel like he kind of goes unnoticed sometimes because let's be honest, when you're a kicker, they only talk about you either if you win the game or you lose the game. Yeah. And thankfully for the Jaguars, he hasn't lost too many games, hasn't had a lot of opportunities to lose too many games. But, I think Josh Lambo's kind of the unsung hero from the Denver game.
Listen, I put in our show rundown today, I said, Lambo the legend.
Okay.
And I'm obviously just being a little silly about it. But am I? I mean, does he have a chance really to be, holy cow? I mean, again, if you were this good and you kick this well, does he have a chance to carry this thing on and be in a Jags uniform for a long time? And if they can get in position to win big games, you become legendary, by the way, if you can kick well in big games, big kicks, playoff kicks, those kind of things. Just ask Adam Vinatieri. Yeah. But, do they have something here that they might have for quite a long time? I want to talk a little bit about Josh Lambo today. So we'll get on it. We'll stay on Jags coming up, and then the NCAA talk is on the way. We have a couple guests on the show as well, and I think one guy that can really help us out with the NCAA stuff because he works on a side of a business that might be able to take advantage of this rule. So that is coming up. Jason Fitz, we'll talk a little college football. Gators do have a big week. We don't go crazy with college football here on the show. There's a big week to talk about the Gators because they play Auburn, but they are starting a gauntlet. And we have started October. And this means a collision course is on. Florida versus Georgia. Georgia versus Florida. Coming up at the end of the month here in Jacksonville. Really, it comes up, I guess, in early November. I think it's a November kick this year. Yeah. But about a month away from that game, both teams undefeated, both teams top 10, and on a collision course. So we'll spend a little time on college football as well. But Jags next. Most of the Jags, all the time, here on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690. It's coming up.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of clouds and sun today with a few scattered showers developing, highs in the mid-80s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all three. Family owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And your home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renner's Pizza.
It's Dollar Down Days at Planet Fitness. Now through October 11th, you can join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. So if you really think about it, you have plenty of cardio equipment between your couch cushions and quite a few strength machines in your cup holder. Oh, then there's that free fitness training in your sock drawer. So check every couch, cup holder, and coin purse and join by October 11th for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. Join in club or at planetfitness.com now through October 11th. Planet Fitness clubs are independently owned and operated. See club for details.
Outspoken Hollywood actresses, a former Nobel Prize nominee, and security and terrorism experts are coming to Jacksonville for one evening only on Saturday, October 26. Military honors will be presented for our veterans lost on September 11, 2012, while serving in Benghazi at the 7th Annual Tribute Ceremony. Music will be performed by recording artist Ann Wolf. The tribute includes commentary from some of the most knowledgeable experts in America on our nation's security, terrorism, and its heroes. This is your chance to find out what's happening all over the country. A VIP reception to welcome prominent national speakers at Jacksonville will precede the event. You can get tickets to the special evening and the VIP reception by Googling "We Can Be Heroes in Jacksonville." Discounts for seniors, veterans, and first responders are offered. Seating is limited. Please Google "We Can Be Heroes in Jacksonville" for tickets for the special event being held on Saturday, October 26. See you there.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Is today the day it'll finally stop raining?
We sure hope so, but it's been a very wet summer so far. This is Mike with Big Fish Roofing. Don't forget, your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Here at Big Fish Roofing, as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we are locally owned and we drive our business with quality and integrity. We do not require any down payments until your roof project is complete. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing. We are the roofers you can trust. We are Big Fish Roofing.
It's Dollar Down Days at Planet Fitness. Join through October 11th for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. So check every couch, cup holder, and coin purse and find $1 before Dollar Down Days are done. Join for $1 down in club or at planetfitness.com. See club for details.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
What's good, Stephen A?
If you're a New York Jets fan, let's just say this. Damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, the New York Jets, when's the last time they've been relevant?
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Hi, I'm Danny Warfel, 1996 Heisman winner, and you're watching Action Sports Jax.
To win the game, snap back, hold down, right-footed, end over end kick, it is good! And the Jaguars come to Denver and rip the hearts out of the Broncos with a Josh Lambo game-winning field goal.
Which call was that? Do you know? Was that Catalan? CBS one? It must have been. I don't know, it sounded a little different to me. I saw the game broadcast sound a little different in my ear there. Catalan does a good job.
That's like your hero, right?
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's your guy right there.
My guy. And you know what? He's got the Jags game this week in Carolina.
Okay.
He had the game in Houston. He is like a Jags beat reporter. I mean, my guy Catalan, he's good, man. He's done a great job. He's worked his way up in CBS, and good dude, and really good. Proud of him, happy for him, and jealous of him. As I said yesterday.
As you're stuck with us.
Yeah. Brett
Sorry.
Martineau, Austin Lane, Coos. That's who I'm stuck with. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit about this NCAA stuff. I think this is a great topic. And by the way, I respect both sides of the topic. This is one of those topics where I understand you. I mean, I get you, but don't sound too maybe old and curmudgeon-y on this topic. You got to be a little careful of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to be there's to maybe the NCAA topic that we'll talk about in a bit is maybe the truest test of we're all not alike. You know?
Yeah.
We all come from different backgrounds.
Correct.
We all have different situations. And really, that's probably why it's a difficult topic for the NCAA to police, for the NCAA to rule on, and for us to come to a conclusion that works for everybody. Because you are getting every walk of life, every different situation, white, black, minorities of all kind, female, male, superstars, non-stars, revenue sports, non-revenue sports. I mean, you got it all. So I think it makes it very difficult, and we try to make everything easy. And if you don't like it, when you simplify things, a lot of times people will be like, well, I hate your opinion. That's
Sure.
not work. Well,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you hate every part of it. And that's my problem with politics right now, right? I mean, it's all or nothing. And really, it's not. It's not all or nothing, but it makes it difficult when it's not all or nothing as well. It's just not that simple. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. But I want to stay on the Jags. A couple quick things to get to, and then we'll talk a little more about them later. Lambo just kicked that one in. Well, he didn't. He actually was on Sunday, but it sounded like he just kicked it in here on the Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. The guy is money. Was there any doubt that he would make that? No, because he's got 94% of his kicks in a Jags uniform. I think he's like, somebody tweeted out he might be like top 10 or top 5 all time in percentage for his entire career now. He's climbing that list, minimum of whatever kicks. And he went 4 for 4. It's a swirling wind, which can get in your mind a little bit. It's on the road. Nothing phases this guy. And so what we left off with is, can he keep it up? You know, what is making this guy so special? Remember, the Chargers dumped this guy. They didn't want him. Why the change of scenery? Why is this guy all of a sudden he couldn't stay on a Chargers team that can't find a kicker for so many years? And now here, he's unbelievable.
I mean, I think in terms of being the kicker, it's probably the most mental position, maybe next to the quarterback, right? Like, it's all mental. It's all consistency. Like, you're a golfer, like you're a bowler. Pick your sport, you know, but if you don't have the right headspace, you're not going to be successful. We saw what happened in Chicago, right? We saw, I feel like Tampa Bay's had their fair share of problems the past couple of years with kickers. And it's just one of those things where, you know, there's no clear-cut answer to answer what makes this guy such a good kicker, what makes this guy such a crappy kicker. But I think it comes down to mentality at the end of the day. And some guys, they have that clutch gene, you know, the Vinatieri's of the world. They have that clutch gene where they want that big moment. They're not going to run from the big moment. Almost kind of like Gardner Minshew, you know, like it's kind of the same type of thing. And when you're talking about Lambo, you know, I mean, Lambo hasn't had a lot of game-winning kicks that I can remember, at least. You know, I mean, few come out to me, especially last year, obviously.
Yeah, of course. They're not putting him in position for that.
Yeah, so he's not really in a position to do that, and especially coming from last year, you know, where the offense wasn't really that great. He didn't get a lot of opportunities. But I think it really is all about the mentality, and sometimes a change of scenery is what you need. You know, it's like the ultimate prescription.
Yeah, you know what's interesting, too, and I kind of set you up for that. We have no idea why. I mean, I have no idea why. I mean, can he keep it up? Sure, maybe he has. He's proven it. I mean, now it's going to be a surprise, knock on wood, if he misses. And the Jaguars, if they get him in position, no matter what time of game it is, you feel really good. No matter what the conditions are, you feel really good. And that's a cool thing to have because there are so many other places. Tampa last week, the Chargers over the years, Minnesota, Chicago, name it.
Yeah.
That can't find it. College game, NFL game. I mean, we devalue the position because it's not used very often, yet when it's needed the most, we kill the position
Yeah.
because people can't make kicks. And so to have one is a luxury when you know you can count on a guy to make it.
It's like I said, it's all about the change of scenery, I feel like, too, because, I mean, I played with one of the best that I ever played with was Josh Scobie, you know, and Josh Scobie in Jacksonville, it was almost automatic, you know. He was the Colts killer a couple times. And I get to be part of those, you know, those moments, and they were awesome, man. And nothing like staying on the sidelines. Well, the Hail Mary was cool, against Houston, but nothing like standing on the sidelines, man, for a game-winning field goal, and, you know, Scobie puts it through the uprights and you celebrate and win.
Especially a 59-yarder.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. But then what happened when he went to Pittsburgh? You know, like he had some struggling, and he didn't do that well in Pittsburgh.
A lot of struggles.
And they always say Pittsburgh is one of the hardest places to kick. True. You know, and I think he's not the only one that's had trouble there. But sometimes it's just that change of scenery. It just affects your mindset for whatever reason.
That was a circumstantial thing, too. He had just got there. He didn't want to be there. He's told us that before.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they were on national TV like 2 weeks in a row, and he missed on TV. So it became like a narrative because that's the only game people were watching.
Yeah.
You know, if it happened on 1 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, I think he might still be kicking for Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm probably kidding, but you get my point.
Well,
like,
and let's
they
be
had
honest,
to make a move.
Well, and as far as their fan base is concerned, I mean, their fan base goes worldwide,
Absolutely.
right? Like they're pretty powerful fan base. So, you know, I think to go, no offense to the Jaguars, but to kind of upgrade yourself a little bit to the Steelers Nation and everything like that, there's a lot of eyes watching him.
Yeah, so it's a bizarre situation being a kicker. It's not easy at all. I do think this. When I asked you that question, I think one of the things that makes Lambo so good could be, just a theory, is the fact he's a former soccer player who does not know much about football. Now, I say that he didn't grow up around the game.
Correct.
Now he does. But I'm saying when he first got here, he didn't know any better. He's just kicking. And I mean, he told us, I think in the last couple of years, he learns like on the sideline every game about some more football stuff, like actual X's and O's or what's going on. Because he's a professional soccer player. That's what he was. And then maybe he adjusts. But some of that maybe innocence to the game doesn't say, well, all these other guys, like if you miss a kick or miss a couple of kicks, it gets in your head. It's like missing short putts in golf, right? Not being able to throw to first base as a second baseman in baseball. Well, now you're like, oh, shoot, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. I'm now this movie. I'm in this movie. Well, I don't think he has that recollection of seeing it over the years. And so maybe it doesn't get to him mentally, or even the failure in San Diego at the time didn't get to him mentally.
And keep this in mind, this is all, you know, speculation. You have to ask him one day. But he was a goalie, right? In Major League Soccer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So you got to think about this too, where kicking was almost secondary to him playing goalie, right? Like the big moments that came for him was trying to stop like a penalty kick, or maybe like if it goes to, you know, I mean, overtime or penalty kicks or whatever like that, and he's responsible for stopping that penalty kick. Well, that's a lot more pressure than just, you know, booting a free kick, you know, whatever they call. I'm not a really good soccer aficionado, but, you know, I mean, I think that the kicking
kind of
just came secondary. Yeah. I mean, all the pressure comes when you got to make the save in soccer.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable.
So, whatever it is. But.
By the way, there's the real, he was a goalie. Yeah. The real reason that he's done so well, I believe, is because for a kicker, he's got some swag, man.
Yeah.
He really does. You mentioned Minshew. In a way, he's kind of got that feel to him. Caught up with him on Sunday in the locker room and listened to it.
I just live for whatever's put in front of me, man. I'm just out there. If it's fourth down, it's in my range, I'm going to hit it. So I'm just trying to do what I'm supposed to do.
The topsy-turvy emotions in that last couple minutes. I mean, you guys are looking good in the second half. You give up a touchdown, then you're like, oh, game on, right?
Right.
Get me in position.
Yeah, as soon as they went down and scored, I said, all right, well, sweet. Looks like I got a game-winning kick in front of me, which was awesome because I knew we were going to get down there. You know, I know a lot of kickers probably aren't, you know, you want to be seen and not heard, but I've just kind of had this vibe going with me to tell these guys, hey, we got to bring our own juice. We got to bring our own sauce. When we bring our lunch pails to work, nobody can touch us. And that is exactly why you play for 60 minutes, was that game today. You play for the full 60. I mean, it's hard to hold on to a lead in this league. It really is. But you look at most of the wins, I bet you a lot of them are comebacks. Just because it's hard to hold the lead. So these guys did amazing. I mean, I think I had 4 field goals, and the furthest one was maybe 40 yards. So our offense was moving the ball. Our defense obviously did a great job. Yeah, playing all 60 minutes, man, you can't speak enough for these guys' character.
I know you have confidence a lot, but how much of the confidence in those final 90 seconds is the fact that 15's out there making a lot of plays?
Oh, I wasn't even worried. I mean, as soon as they scored, I'd go to 2 of our guys and say, hey, keep the media away from me, block the wall, we're going to go down to a kick. It'll be fine. But I mean, I went up to Chris Conley. I'm like, dude, you tiptoed on that line. Get me those extra however many yards. That helps so much. It puts me at so much more ease when these guys are grinding out there and doing what they do. I mean, seriously, when we bring our lunch pails to work, everybody needs to be scared.
How fun is Minshew to watch?
I mean, the whole team's fun to watch. I mean, obviously Gardner's done a heck of a job coming in. I love his personality. I love the way he goes about his job. And he's just a fun guy to be around. So, I think he energizes our team a little bit too. But this was a huge team win. I mean, everybody played really well, and I'm just fortunate enough they gave me an easy enough of a shot to put it through.
He's a fun guy.
There you go.
I mean, he's a pretty fun guy.
This is me bringing my juice to work every single day.
Yeah.
I respect it.
But, he said, how many kickers said, we got to bring the sauce to work every day?
Sauce, yeah.
bring the juice.
I
liked it. Yeah. I mean, he's got that kind of swag, and he's earned it. He's earned it. He has been phenomenal, and we probably don't talk about it enough. He was great in that game. 4 kicks, 4 makes, and really good. And by the way, I think Logan Cook overall is doing a good job. He feels like he has a stinker of a kick every game as well, but I think overall he does a good job, and he's getting better and better. He got better and better as the year went along last year, and I think he's getting better and better as his career goes along. I like him. I'm just saying there is one once in a while. Now, he was against the wind.
One in Denver, but against the wind.
The wind will throw you. I mean, again, there were times that was right into the wind. There were other times where I felt it was very swirly, which is even tougher sometimes.
So is this kind of like a field manufactured win, maybe like Indy used to do with the crowd noise? Has Denver kind of manipulated the wind
maybe
in
they
their
have.
favor?
The way they've opened tunnels and stuff.
Because you heard when Lambo's kicked the game winner, that the wind kind of picked up a little bit against them. Makes you wonder, Brent.
That does make you wonder. Hey, I want to know if this team misses Telvin Smith primarily because of the play of Quincy Williams. Is it good enough? How good is it? Let's talk a little bit about it next on ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jags earned themselves some time off from practice this week after a victory in Denver. Here's Coach Marone telling the guys they don't have to come in on Monday or Tuesday.
We're going to go on the road next week playing another good team in Carolina, okay? All right, so I want you guys to make sure you get your lift in, all right, before I see your sorry asses on Wednesday.
This also means we have no idea where the Jalen Ramsey status is. In the meantime, baseball playoffs start tonight with a wild card matchup featuring Milwaukee and the Nationals, and then again tomorrow with Tampa and Oakland. Playoffs start for real on Thursday. Former Jag Jonathan Cyprien was part of a trade earlier today between Atlanta and Philadelphia. Eagles have acquired Duke Riley, a linebacker, and a 2026 round pick from Atlanta in exchange for safety Jonathan Cyprien and a 2027th round pick. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
It's time to chub it up with my favorite wings in the Jacksonville area. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go. 2 locations, one on the west side and one in Fleming Island. I've been to both. Then I called the owner up and said, hey, I like the wings so much, I want to endorse them. It's a true story. And here we are. Bring the family on Mondays to the Fleming Island location for 50-cent wings. Tuesdays at the West Side location, it's all-you-can-eat wings. Try the Maple Cajun or the Johnny-style wings. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Time to register for the 16th Annual USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K, one of the premier running events in the Southeast. The mission of the USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K is to strengthen the bond between the civilian and military communities, promote sound physical health and fitness, and to raise funds for the greater Jacksonville area USO in support of all 5 branches of the military, including the Florida National Guard and their family members. It all happens on Saturday, October 12th, starting at Metropolitan Park. This is a family-friendly event featuring high-tech military vehicles and prizes. Proceeds benefit the Jacksonville USO and other military charities. The USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K happens on October 12th, so don't wait. Register today online at jaxusohalfmarathon.com.
Get super savings on over 1,000 vehicles on the lot right now at Arlington Toyota. It's the 2020 Supra Sales Event going on now at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. You heard right, up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $26,000. Now it's only $17,988. That's $17,988 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington Toyota. Thinking about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? It's not $22,000. No way. Now it's just $13,888. Just $13,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington Toyota. But Arlington gives you even more with their $5,000 Advantage Club. It comes with your purchase and it's packed with savings, discounts, rewards, and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
I'm sitting with the defense by the lunch table. He goes, Austin, come over here. I'm like, Alex Smith knows my name. That's pretty cool to start things off with. And then all of a sudden, me and Alex Smith are talking about. But I'm saying the culture, it manifested on itself.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jack.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I've just kind of had this vibe going with me to tell these guys, hey, we got to bring our own juice. We got to bring our own sauce. When we bring our lunch pails to work, nobody can touch us. Puts me at so much more ease when these guys are grinding out there and doing what they do. I mean, seriously, when we bring our lunch pails to work, everybody needs to be scared.
Josh Lambo getting it done Sunday in Denver. Now the Jaguars go to Carolina. All right, another Jags topic real quick, and then we're going to get to the NCAA talk as Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs joins us.
What's up, gentlemen?
What's up?
How you doing, man? Good to be here.
Good to have you here, and also Josh Lambo. You might have to get him signed up at Palm Beach Autographs.
Oh, that's my boy, dude.
He's
That's my
dude.
guy. Yeah, we've had him in before. We did the first signing with him. Super, super happy for him, and just couldn't happen to a better dude,
All right,
man.
while we're on it, when a kicker has a signing, again, I mean, out of Vinatieri, I get it.
Yeah, sure.
Now, after all this stuff in the career, when you win a Super Bowl, I think kicker, especially the way Adam Vinatieri did it early on in his career.
Yeah.
But, was Lambo kind of like, what do I even do here? Like, what am I doing here?
When he first came, he was kind of novice to it like that. Yeah, he was. He warmed up super quick. He knows now. He knows the gig, and he's had some cool moments. We printed that photo where he kicked how long was the one in London? 51, 53?
That sounds right.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So, he jumped up in the air and did that celebration. So, and like we've talked about before, when you create a moment like that, it doesn't matter. Like Vinatieri, in the snow.
Yeah.
Those images, that's what people
forever.
want. I remember, I watched that game. I was at that game. They last forever, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, he's got he's got something.
He does.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. And not only that, we're doing an interview in the locker room Sunday, which, by the way, Denver has the best visiting locker room in the league, maybe.
Really?
Huge.
I've never been to Denver, so I wouldn't know. Okay.
Most of these are small.
Well,
not
on
very
purpose.
good.
Yeah.
Which I still think it's stupid. That's going to help you win a football game. But whatever.
Yeah.
And Boye kind of interrupts, and we turn around, and Boye's sitting there doing this to him in the locker room. So it's a thing, that's a thing. That's when it happens, which is really cool. Again, if you make them, it becomes a thing. I mean, sooner or later, what I'd like to see, let's get Jacksonville, Duval, at a home game, every time that guy kicks one through, everybody in the stand should be doing that. Move the chains, Duval, all that.
Yeah.
Now we do this.
He's got tons of charisma, tons of swagger, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he's got it. And so we're working on doing a deal. I'll just say it. We're trying to do Hollis, Scobie, and Lambo on the same day.
That's cool.
All three of the guys.
Very cool.
That'd be
Kicking
really
it
good.
with the kickers, something like that.
All
It'll
right,
be
keep
fun.
us posted. Palm Beach Autographs in the Avenues Mall. That might be something coming soon. I want you to jump in a minute, but take a break for a second, Morton, because I want to finish one more Jags topic for now. Quincy Williams.
Yeah.
Is he making us forget that Telvin Smith is gone? How has his play been? I know you looked at some things yesterday, and it's probably been up and down through 4 games. Mm-hmm. But to me, the speed is like, whoa. Like, all of a sudden, you see this guy coming across the field making a tackle on the sideline. Like, whoa. Is that Telvin? No, wait a minute. That's Quincy Williams.
Yeah.
And he's obviously more physical than Telvin because he's built differently.
Correct.
So what's your gauge of that a month into the year where they've asked this young man from your alma mater to play big, drafted in the 3rd round? Nobody knew who the heck he was.
Yeah.
Didn't play in August because of injuries. How's he doing?
I think he's doing pretty damn good, Brent, overall, to tell you the truth. Quincy Williams, he has that factor where if he makes a tackle, and you can call it a routine tackle if you want, but when he makes those tackles, you notice it, right? Because he's 100 miles per hour every single play. Now, teams have picked on him a little bit in the past game, and he's still learning the position. I mean, I think there's been a couple times where, maybe he's just a second too slow, where the guy gets the ball. One that stands out to me is Adam Humphries in Tennessee.
Okay.
On that, I forgot, it was like
I think you're right. Yes, it was. Down the near sideline.
Down the near sideline. I mean, listen. You're a rookie, man, and that's going to happen. I think that happens to even the great linebackers sometimes when you ask him to go in coverage. But I'm saying sideline to sideline in the run game, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that the Jaguars got a gem with him because you can teach the skill set of, listen, you have to drop a certain depth in zone coverage here, take your man. You can teach the guys that, right? But you can't teach the instincts. You can't teach the ability to hit somebody 100 miles per hour and play with reckless abandonment. And that's what Quincy Williams does.
Well, listen, I think there were times in that game he did get picked on, even in Denver, and he didn't do so well in the passing game, to your point. But I guess the question is simply this. Do you watch the Jags play in any of the 4 games and say, damn, I wish Telvin was here? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Telvin Smith. I'm really not. This is more complimentary to maybe the Jags found something in Quincy Williams, and overall he's doing a nice job early in his career. I mean, this is a $10 million man he was trying to replace.
Sure.
I mean, this is the most under-talked about story of the year.
There's been so many of them to talk about, you can't get to Quincy Williams.
But by the time we got to training camp, nobody even mentioned the fact that Telvin Smith was not going to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a guy that's been around for years. He's a Pro Bowl linebacker, and and we're still not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a hat tip to Williams and what the Jags found.
No, it absolutely is. I think in terms of speed, I think they're neck and neck. Now, what we like Quincy Williams better over than Telvin is the fact that I think Quincy Williams is a little better of a hitter, right? Because Telvin was a little lighter.
Absolutely.
So,
he missed a lot of tackles, quite frankly.
Exactly. So I think he actually has the edge with Telvin there. Now, we're talking about coverage and things like that. I still think he's got to improve on that. But that's going to come with time, Brent. That's going to come from, when you go from Murray State playing the OVC opponents to, playing a new defense in Jacksonville in the NFL, it might take a little time. So, give him a year or so, see how he does next year. But, all things considered, I think he's a great replacement and outshines Telvin, I feel like, in some spots.
Yeah, he's been admirable so far, I think.
Yes.
Again, and I just can say, we're on social media a lot. I don't think we have people calling into our show saying, dang, Telvin. Man, if we only had Telvin. That drive. Now, could you say if they had Telvin, does that drive not happen? Maybe, because Quincy got picked on a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
We're talking more about that last year. Tomorrow. We're going to go through that final drive. We got an idea for tomorrow, okay? So hang with us on that.
Mm-hmm.
But just a thought. Anyway, we'll get back to Jags in a moment, a little bit. I also want to talk about Yannick Ngakoue and his situation, because right now the stat column's not saying much. And I know what the contract column says.
Yeah.
And all that talk about Yannick Ngakoue, I want to go there in just a little bit. But first, let's go shift and pivot right now with Martin to the NCAA, into this California law that just got put in place. LeBron James, a big guy behind some of this, supporting some of this. It was 2023 where you can now, in California, get paid for your likeness and all that stuff. Florida may follow suit soon. There's apparently that's being pushed.
I think a lot are going to follow.
And there might be a lot of other states. Good or bad, before we get to what LeBron James had to say, because he's in favor of it, you've been in favor, so I think I know where you're going.
Yeah, for a long time now. You want to break it down a little bit?
Yeah, why is it a good thing?
Yeah, listen, the NCAA, they generate so much money, especially with football, that eventually the players have to be reimbursed. But the problem that you face is if you do reimburse just the football teams or the football players of those big universities, well, then you're not really saying much to the other sports, such as, like baseball, softball, gymnastics, even some basketball teams, because not every basketball team's Duke, North Carolina. So you have to find a way to make everybody happy, which is not an easy thing to do, especially nowadays, because if you have one flaw in your plan, people are going to jump on top of it and say, no, we can't do this. It's not going to work. Go back to the old ways. So it was kind of my theory. And listen, this theory has been thrown around all the time, but I feel like if you license the name, if you sell the name, then you have an opportunity, for student athletes to make money because it's based off of their performance, right? So, for instance, Tim Tebow, one of the greatest football players of all time in college. Well, if he had his name sold, if they're selling Tebow jerseys, he would directly, get money from that. And that's with any big program. It's actually with any program in general, because even the smaller schools, people turn out to the games and people want to buy a jersey. They want to buy a jersey of the star player, but it just doesn't stop there. Now let's take into account like the cool stories in college football. For instance, I talked about the punter from Miami. Guy's covered in tattoos. He's from Australia. He's got a mustache. He's kind of like that cult hero, right? Well, sell a T-shirt with his, his mustache, something on it, and get him a cut of that money, and fans would jump on board with that. So it's not just a star player kind of thing. It can be a punter, it can be a lineman who are always like the grimy guys, the unsung heroes, but they can be cult heroes as well. It can really be anybody, and it can be applied to any single sport. And I think once you do that, I feel like everybody wins, and it holds the student athlete accountable because now they have to ask themselves, well, I have to behave properly in a public light because if I don't, that's going to hurt my name. That's going to hurt my brand. And if I hurt my brand, I'm not getting money.
All right, I want to bring Martin into the fold on it. Give me your opinion on it. But you're in a world where, well, if this goes into place, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my view is you own Palm Beach Autographs. If you want to bring in whoever, name your guy or gal or star athlete at whatever school for a signing, under this rule in California, you'd be able to do it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with everything that Austin just said. I think this is long overdue. This is a billion-dollar industry now. Mm-hmm. And Austin, to your point, I think a lot of times people are like, well, when I was growing up, it was this way, and it should stay this way because it was good enough when I was a kid. Well, you know what? Things have changed, and that's progress. Yeah. And sometimes people have a lot of time, problems with that, and that's fine. But Brent, to answer your question, I think this will just legitimize everything. Look at some recent things that were in the sports world the last few years. Some big names: Todd Gurley, Johnny Manziel, to name two that were signing autographs during college and being compensated for it. Todd Gurley, from my understanding of what it was met some guy. The guy came up to him, said, hey, I'll give you $10 an autograph, $15 an autograph, something like that, if you sign all these photos and these mini helmets for me. Went into his car, signed all the stuff for him. The guy made his money, and then he did it for another guy. And as soon as he did it for that other guy, you know what that dude did? He took the video that he took secretly of Todd Gurley signing the images so that he could have them authenticated from James Spence Authentication, and he sent it in because he felt slighted because now somebody else had his product because he had cornered the market and given Todd Gurley a little bit of money, to sign autographs, and now he was signing for somebody else. And he got suspended for 4 games, right? Am I right?
Games,
3 or 4 games for that. Where and all he was doing with that money is sending it back to his mom. That's what these guys are doing. They're, these guys, a lot of these guys come from not a lot. And so this gives them a legitimate way to make a little bit of extra money. Johnny Manziel didn't need that money.
No.
Johnny Manziel came from money. And let me tell you something. Johnny Manziel probably made over 6 figures signing autographs while he was in college. And he got suspended for what? 1/2 of 1 game?
Yeah.
What? So what are we talking about here? I mean, let's just legitimize it, make it on the up and up, and do it the right way.
Yeah, and I don't think the NCAA, as long as laws go into place, they can't police half the stuff that goes on already. Anyway,
Absolutely.
They can't police that stuff, right?
No.
Not the right way.
It's happening.
It happens, and you
does.
can't police it, and they know different ways to get around it, and there's cash that you can't follow and all this stuff. So I don't think the NCAA can stop that. I don't think they can stop really what's going on legislation-wise either. I just don't think they can do it. I don't think they will do it. Are there some downturns to it? Well, absolutely. There's always downturns to all
There's
this
positive
stuff.
and negatives.
But are you going to tell right now it is the most crooked thing in sports is college athletics and football and basketball. It might be the most crooked thing going on in sports is college football and basketball. And we all do this. We just turn our heads.
Yeah.
And we don't say anything because you know why? We like watching that football Final Four. We love watching March Madness. We don't care what else is going on. Just give me my games. And I'm guilty of it, man. I am certainly guilty of it. I don't take away my March Madness. I want to fill out that damn bracket.
Yeah.
So we don't, they can't police it. It's already going on. And so I think it does legitimize some things. Yes, there are going to be some bad things that come out of it. In fact, I'm not even smart enough, or either I've been too busy enough to probably figure out what all the bad things are that might go on. My mind hasn't gotten that far yet. You probably know. What's the downside? What's going to come out of this 5 years down the road and be like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
We didn't see that coming, or they shouldn't have done that. Here's why.
So being a proponent of it and being in favor of it, absolutely. But you can forward think too, and you look at some of the issues that are going to come up. And if you're going to legitimize it, one thing they need to really think about it like this: what's preventing a booster? Let's use Alabama, right? They're the big dog. What's preventing somebody from Bama just literally going to every recruit and saying, I'm going to give you a $500,000 guaranteed marketing deal to sign autographs, and then just never get a single thing signed. So it needs to be on the up and up. There needs to be legitimacy to it, or else it's just basically
the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
which is happening.
True.
I mean, but
this opens a door for it to happen more openly.
You just have to figure out the way to do it the right way. Nothing's ever perfect at first.
How about the people that say, and again, I sense this too. This is why it's so complicated. It's not all or nothing. You went to Murray State, did you, on scholarship?
Correct.
Okay. So did you have to pay for it? Do you mind me asking?
No, you're fine. Absolutely.
Did you have to pay for anything? Books or dorm, or did you get any stipend? Do you remember?
Yeah, absolutely. So room and board was taken care of.
Yeah.
Food was taken care of, obviously in the cafeteria, and then we did receive a stipend every month, and that kind of went towards either extra meals or like rent if you lived off campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got something.
Correct.
That was valuable. I can tell you, Mom listening to Wisconsin thinks that's valuable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, the scholarship was valuable in the first place.
That's what I'm saying.
So
there is value there.
Yeah.
And to all the folks that, like the Todd Gurley that's sending money back to his mom, all those things, and I understand that helps too. But for the folks that could not afford to go to school, and this could be any race, any whatever, well, this is something. This is tangible. This is an opportunity.
Absolutely.
It's an opportunity because you're good in sports. To go to school, get an education, wherever sports leads you. I know everybody's grand scheme is get to the NFL, get to the NBA, get to wherever, but sometimes it doesn't. Well, now you have a piece of paper that should help you in your next phase of life.
Yeah.
And there's an importance to that. You can't undervalue that. So the critics of it say, well, you are getting something. I understand. There's a value to it. So I think you have to accept that side. The bottom line is when it comes to that part, and this is where I use Tebow more than anybody, is okay, that's cool. Whether you could have afforded to pay for college or not, you got a scholarship. I mean, I walked on. I had to pay. I had student loans when I got out. But if I could have made this while you're making this, well, that's just the world, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just, you brought it up before. Didn't you? I think you did. The guy in the band, the guy studying music or wherever, and puts a song on, Zach Brown band, who's going to Georgia and playing in bars in Athens.
Sure.
And puts an album out, and it comes out in their sophomore year. This didn't happen, by the way, but I'm just saying if it did, well, they're going to go make a ton of money. But they're an athlete.
That's
they're
exactly
a student
right.
at the school, but the athlete can't.
Well, of course, and say like you're in the band, and say you do like classical music, you can charge people lessons. Like you can kind of have like your own company, your own business. As opposed to, and I forgot who the guy was, but a UCF player, I think he was the kicker, had his own like YouTube video thing he was making money off of.
Yeah.
And then NCAA shut that down.
Yeah.
And said you're a student athlete, you can't do that. So
you can't be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a hard word to
say. It's almost like a double standard. Where,
absolutely, it's a double standard.
You got band kids that are on scholarship, and rightfully so. I mean, it takes a lot of talent, a lot of hard work and dedication to get to that point, and they bust their ass and spend a lot of hours perfecting their craft, just like a football player. But then a band guy can go charge money for lessons and start his own business, be an entrepreneur, and a football player can't. So how is that right?
Yeah, it's not. It's just old guy versus.
Yes.
Is it that topic?
Yes, it really is. I mean, to that point, I've always used a few examples when I'm talking to people about that. I've used the music one. I've said, what if you're a smart kid and you can write an application? You're a computer science programmer and you write an application. That's not the universities. You write that your freshman year, you sell that application to whoever, you make money off of it. That goes for anything, for any other kid that wants to start a business, wants to make some money. It's very hypocritical, and I do. I think it's old thinking versus new thinking.
Yeah, and it is kind of like, this isn't the way we did it. We had Carson Pickett on.
Yeah,
young lady from St. John's Country Day. Who's had a collegiate career and is playing professional soccer. Has one arm. Remember that story?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Think about maybe the dollars she could have received in college as a women's soccer player.
Yeah,
not a revenue generating sport, but if she did something that has gone viral. But she did it in college.
Well, and keep in mind, too, it's not always the positive stories, right? But sometimes there's tragedy in college with college, student athletes, and sometimes you can't do a GoFundMe because they're student athletes. Well, what a better way to support somebody than, buy their jersey, and maybe that money can go towards, helping them out.
Yeah, there's so much
in a
more.
tough spot.
Stay with us, Morton Buckley, also Jason Fitz on the other side from ESPN. We're talking some college football as well here on ESPN 690.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jack's Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website VitaDeLouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to VitaDeLouis.com.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with a licensed local expert with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 105-7788.
Starting route now. Turn right at Fortress Mountain. Turn left at Mount Hood. Head south to Moab, Utah. Continue on the Great North American Test Drive.
Run with us on a John Deere Gator XUV 835. With our quietest cab ever and optional heat and AC, and a four-wheel independent suspension, it's built to run where no one else can. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Sometimes for inspiration, you just have to look up. For more than 60 years, the Goodyear blimp has fueled greatness on the gridiron by providing aerial coverage of some of the most legendary moments in college football history. When the Goodyear blimp rises above a stadium, it inspires players to reach higher and rise to the challenge of the game's biggest moments. Now it's your turn to go further with Goodyear. Discover tires made to rise above the rest. Learn more at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven.
It's Dollar Down Days at Planet Fitness. Join through October 11th for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. So check every couch, cup holder, and coin purse and find $1 before Dollar Down Days are done. Join for $1 down in club or at planetfitness.com. See club for details.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi right now. The road to the World Series starts tonight with the NL wildcard game between the Brewers and Nationals. Coverage at 7:30 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Brandon Woodruff and Max Scherzer. Woodruff's pitched in only 2 games since returning from a strained oblique that kept him out nearly 2 months. Scherzer's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. And the advantage in starting pitching, one reason the Nationals win tonight, in the opinion of ESPN's Doug Glanville.
The starters are excellent, and they have 2 big guns, Max Scherzer and Steven Strasburg. And I think you might even see both of them in the game today. So when you look at that, what they can do, they can prevent that bullpen from being in the weakest spot by both these guys being able to take the team deeper in the ballgame where they have less bullpen activity.
Our Doug Glanville. The Nats will have Strasburg ready in relief. Washington's bullpen was 29th in MLB and ERA in the regular season. Tonight's winner advances to face the Dodgers in the NLDS. The A's will start left-hander Sean Manaea in tomorrow's AL wildcard game against the Rays. Tampa Bay previously announced its starter would be Charlie Morton.
The 99-cent Napa bag can save you 20% on 3 or more items you can fit inside. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I love the topics that keep us talking in the breaks.
Yeah. Those are the best kind.
Yeah, those are good ones. And this NCAA and the California rule and what could go into effect in Florida and so many other places. You know, I think there will have to be some uniformity to this at some point. How far does it, you know, how long does it take to get there, I think is something we can't answer right now. But it'll be fascinating to watch. Brent Martineau, former Jags player, Austin Lane, and Coos, of course, on a Tuesday. Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs joining us. A lot to talk about this topic because I think it impacts your side of the business as well, and you can see it from a different angle. I want to ask you one thing before we bring in Jason Fitz and talk more college football. Big week for the Gators. Of course, they have Auburn at home. You going to that one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a can't miss.
That should be a good one. College game day there.
Game day.
Yeah.
And
it's going to be
3:30
awesome.
kick, CBS 47, the place to go. We'll have SEC tonight right after that. All the post-game festivities. Plus, I'll be in Carolina for the Jags. So we got a big weekend up ahead. And this is a gauntlet for Florida coming up. So we will talk about that. From your side of the business, you know, you mentioned guys like Gurley and Manziel. We always bring up Tebow. Do you think, like, say you're in California? Well, I guess you could do it anywhere. Will you start peeking into that?
Absolutely.
And saying, hey, that you're already careful about who you pick up and trying to get, and you want to be sure of it. You know, and you know that business better than me. But how much will you say, all right, we're looking at all these professional athletes. Now let's take a look at, well, this star football player. Would you take a chance on somebody who's like a viral sensation but might play softball or baseball or someone that is a non-revenue sport?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you and I have talked about this before. It's about when the iron's hot, you know, and like you said, these viral, look, you know, there's a guy here in Jacksonville right now, plays quarterback, number 15, that is just absolutely on fire. And, you know, there's a lot of people calling. We're working hard to try to get him, but that happens at the collegiate level all the time. And there's tons of college guys that absolutely, there's, you know, basketball players, of course, football players. There could be an epic moment in the College World Series with a guy for a big school, a big program like LSU, where we'd want to, you know, do something like that because the iron's only going to be hot at that moment when it happens. In 3 or 4 years when they graduate, everyone will have moved on. The news cycle will have changed. The sports cycle will have changed, and we would have moved on. So, yeah, absolutely. Or the gymnasts that we were talking about before. I mean, if you had opportunity to do any of those people, we certainly would, as long as it's on the up and up. Yeah, absolutely.
I think what's interesting there, too, is what you bring up is, in our minds, right, when you talk about the paying for the likeness, we think about the Tebows, the Zion Williamson, those guys. And that's appropriate because those are the guys who are like, wow, man, they're really taking advantage. I mean, these guys are the school's making a ton of money off this, and these guys aren't getting paid. But I do think at a lower level, hey, if you're a gymnast, if you're a baseball player with a big moment, if you're any of those guys, and you can make $5,000 off doing a couple of hundred autographs, even if it's just $5,000 from the outside, that's like, nothing.
Yeah.
For $5,000 is $5,000 when you're 20 years old and you just had a moment.
Well, and especially like the social media landscape too, right? Like, I mean, if someone's trending, like for instance, we talked about the girl from Boise State. I can't remember her name, unfortunately, but remember she was a steeplechase runner. And then they asked her like, "How do you feel?" She's like, "I don't feel that hot right now." Like that was a big moment.
It was.
Like, I mean,
put it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on a T-shirt, And I think like with social media now, especially on Twitter, where those things are in, everybody can see those kind of things. Well, people can identify with her, and if you can do that, I feel like the likeliness is there to, like you said, maybe offer her like a deal and get some autographs and see where it goes.
Or Cameo even. We've seen the rise of Cameo. She could do cameos.
Exactly.
We got the angry deli guy gets $100 a cameo or something like that. The girl from Boise could get 25.
We got to work on that. How do we get into that? $100 a cameo.
Well, I don't want to throw a fit in a bagel shop.
I just want $100 for an appearance.
Oh, okay, I got you.
That's all I'm asking.
I mean, there are ways around it, but I don't. I'm not thinking those ways.
I'm sure this guy gets paid for him. Jason Fitz joins us right now from ESPN, and I think you're a perfect guy to talk about this topic, this California rule. You're in the band Perry. I mean, you were a musician. And if you're a musician in college, you can go make money. If you're an athlete in college, well, you can't. How do you feel on the topic? And hello, by the way.
Well, hey, gentlemen. And you know what? I hosted OTL today outside the lines, and I closed OTL on this exact topic with that exact discussion because the fact is I went to college on a scholarship, and I was offered full scholarships to several schools that have prominent basketball and football programs. And the amazing thing about that is when you're offered a full scholarship as a musician, your education's free. You have access to the best coaches and trainers in the entire world, people you couldn't get to otherwise. You have facilities that help make you a better musician. You get all of these things. And then at the same time, you can turn around and you can gig wherever you want. You can pick up weddings. You can play band gigs. You can sit in orchestras. And I knew kids 20 years ago when I was in school that were making great livings while they were getting free education. And by the way, they could also turn around and teach. And because they were at this prominent music school, the kids that they were teaching, they could charge more per hour. And we never limited any of it. So the thing that people have to start understanding is that this isn't an act for pay for play. That's not what this is about at all. This is about finally giving student athletes the equity they deserve, the same treatment that any other kid on scholarship gets there. And if you're an engineering kid, you can go tutor for money while you're getting a free education if you're on scholarship. If they're not going to limit them, if they're not going to limit everybody, don't limit anybody when it comes to going out and being able to make your living off of your likeness doing what you're great at.
Well, it's official. I'm telling my son to put down the football and put a saxophone in his hand because he's going to be a band kid. Enough said. That's all I had to hear, Jason.
It is true, but it is true. But listening to a saxophone when they're practicing hours and hours a day is not the best. But I always want to learn how to play. It's a good instrument.
Well, Jason, coming from an all-state saxophone player like myself, my mom can attest to it. Where there was a lot of hours where she was not impressed, especially in a small apartment, a small house. There wasn't a lot of places to hide from my abilities. So. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I got to. By the way, we should put the band back together here. We got an all-state saxophone player, and obviously, I think you can still fiddle a little bit.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. If we're going to play, the only requirement I have is like the one life we got to have musically, because I play a lot of different instruments. I mean, the violin's my primary, but I never learned how to play the sax, and I really want to just so I can play Careless Whisper just once. I want to play the sax, Careless Whisper. Just one time. That's all I need in my life.
Sexy sax man.
I got a feeling you have enough connections you can make that happen. You certainly don't need Austin Lane to help make that happen. That's for sure. Jason Fitz is joining us from ESPN. One last thought on this for now. We just spent a bunch of time on it. Jason, is there a downside to it, though? Because there are so many more dollars at stake, it seems like, in college athletics, illegally or legally. It's such big business, which I continue to say the NCAA is afraid to admit. But what is the downside for you if there is one?
Well, that's simple. And the downside, honestly, isn't about the businesses because, frankly, one thing we have to keep in mind is if all of a sudden a business is going to decide that they want to give a bunch of money to get a quarterback to come play there, and that's how they're doing it, that's going to require contracts. That's going to become very public. At some point, businesses are going to be locking into players. They don't know if they're going to be good or bad. I mean, I think that consequence isn't the one I'm concerned about. The one I am concerned about for California is there's a very small part that they added the last seconds of the legislation that states you cannot or you can't sign an endorsement with a company that competes with whatever your school is endorsed with. So, for example, a kid couldn't sign with Nike after he signed with an Adidas school. He can't wear competing gear on it. So I think the unintended consequence of that, obviously, is are we going to live in a world where kids decide, in their junior year, they decide first and foremost what shoe wear they're going to go with, like who are they going to go with as an endorsement company for the really great players, especially in the basketball world. Are they going to decide first on a shoe company, and then that limits their schools, which I think is such a scary way to do business at times, just because I don't want a kid to feel like he has to go to this particular school because that's what Adidas tells him or Nike tells him. So I think that's the biggest downside to any of it. For the rest of it, no, because I don't care if you're playing for Florida State or if you're playing for University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. Local businesses will give you opportunity, and even if it's just a little bit of cash, why not get the opportunity to make it?
Yeah, that's
Shout out to the Warhawks, by the way. Whitewater, I see you, man. I see you.
Very good
Hey,
mention.
man, Craig, Coach Leipold is a good friend of mine, so I always use Wisconsin-Whitewater, former coach over there, now coach over at Buffalo. Is Wisconsin. I've got a Wisconsin-Whitewater jersey with my name on the back of it from my years of hanging out with Coach. So there you
very
go.
cool. Well, see, so all my friends ended up going to Wisconsin-Stevens Point, so I was more of a Stevens Point guy myself. But yeah, shout out to Whitewater, man. It's always get a name drop sometime.
I like it. All right, hey, let's talk some football. It's a big week around here. College game day coming to Gainesville. I'm assuming you're coming to Gainesville as well. I caught the show last week in Nebraska. Nice work. I enjoyed it. And what do you think with this one? Auburn's really looking good, and Florida's got a gauntlet ahead.
And I keep thinking Florida's going to hit a wall because it just feels like they don't look great in most of the games, but they look good enough, So I think we're going to start to get some proof here from the SEC. And I either one of these teams, both have really brutal schedules coming up, and this is going to be a back and forth game. I'm excited. It's going to be my first time going to the Swamp. Yeah, I'll be there. We should all hang out. But I think when you look at the way this thing's going to play out, every time I think that Florida's not going to step up, they do. Auburn's defense is very good at this point. There's going to be some matchup issues there. But I honestly think that this is sort of one team's going to eliminate themselves and the other is going to bring themselves more into the conversation because this is the start of the worst for them.
Yeah, I'm interested. That's a good perspective from the outside because here in Gatorland, I kind of have a similar perspective as you where they just don't feel. Florida, to me, doesn't feel like a top 10 team. But at the same time, I can't say enough about Dan Mullen finding ways to win football games. And the guy's done it. And I also think the one thing going for Florida is there's not a ton of drop-off at the QB position, even though they lost their starting quarterback. It's a very similar situation here in Jacksonville. I don't know what Nick Foles would have been like, but the fact that Minshew's playing well, you're not feeling it. And usually when you lose your starting quarterback, teams feel it. And right now, I don't think the Gators are feeling it, so it helps them out. But, man, I tell you what, you mentioned Auburn's schedule. They got LSU. Gators have LSU after this, and then later in the month here in Jacksonville, it'll be Florida and Georgia. It's hard to see the Gators coming through this thing like 3-1 or especially undefeated. I just don't feel it.
Yeah, well, and I'm with you. I don't think many teams can make it through that gauntlet and be okay, and that's just some years it just works out the wrong way, and we've sort of laughed about that when you think about where LSU has gotten to this year and where Auburn's gotten to. I mean, it's just I'm going to be the rare voice in this that says, look, I don't care when it comes to the playoff committee. I don't care about conference championships. I don't care about anything other than getting the best 4 teams in. This could be a year where there's a viable argument that 3 of those 4 teams should be from the SEC. And that's when, college football fans start screaming about bias and everything else. But through it all, I mean, right now, if you don't take any previous years into account, you only look at the games we've seen this year. Clemson does not play as well as any of the teams that we've been mentioning from the SEC. Frankly, Ohio State and Oklahoma are the 2 that are trying to put themselves in the conversation. Mm-hmm. So we need to see some of these SEC teams start to beat each other up so we can get a good look at it.
Jason, obviously we're in Jacksonville here, so it's a lot of Gator country. We hear the Florida Gators. Auburn's kind of an afterthought. And I want to hear your opinion, on the national level. I mean, should Auburn be getting more respect right now? Because we hear in the SEC, we hear Alabama, we hear Georgia, we hear LSU. LSU's new defense, they got the quarterback now all of a sudden. But you look at the Auburn team. This is a team that beat Oregon. This is a team that went to Texas A&M, beat them. This is a team that had an upset alert with Mississippi State. Didn't even come close. Absolutely blew them out of the door, out of the water. At Auburn. So when you're talking about the Auburn Tigers right now, should they be getting a little more respect, especially with a young quarterback in Bo Nix who seems to be surging and getting better every single game?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They should be getting more respect. I think what's happened is that's the LSU effect. And we're always enamored with shiny new toys, and that's what the LSU offense is. We're not used to seeing a dynamic quarterback at LSU, so we're so in love with the shiny new toy that we become obsessed with this can LSU beat Alabama narrative, and that's a fair conversation to have. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, all Auburn's doing over here is saying, hey, we've taken care of business, and I do believe by the end of the year that Oregon win is going to be key, and it's going to be a better quality win than we realize. They shouldn't have won the game. They somehow managed to get it done. But that's all that matters at the end of the day, because this Oregon team is going to make their way as the Pac-12 continues to eliminate each other everywhere. This Oregon team is going to keep reminding us that they are a good football team that lost a quality loss to Auburn, which is good for them through it all. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think that ultimately Auburn, Auburn like Florida, they both sort of control their own destiny. The problem is nobody thinks either of them can make it through the gauntlet.
Jason, it's funny because you mentioned shiny new toys, and we're talking shiny new toys. I think it was 3 weeks ago we talked about Maryland a little bit, that Maryland offense, with the Alabama offensive coordinator being the head coach now, and those ties. But I saw a Penn State team that absolutely took it to Maryland on Friday, and I feel like Penn State's are along the realms of Auburn where no one's talking about Penn State, and I'm a guy who follows the Big Ten, I'm a big Wisconsin guy, but I feel like, yeah, I get it. Penn State's number 12 right now in the nation, but they're not really getting the respect either, I feel like. This is a Penn State team that beat Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh beat UCF, and I get it. It's a week-to-week basis. But Penn State looks pretty tough right now, too. Should they be getting more respect as well?
I think so, and they're going to have a real chance to show it in a couple of weeks when they have the Iowa matchup, because I'm a little confused on why we're all in love with Iowa and we're not talking more about Penn State, because to me they're pretty comparable teams. I mean, the Big Ten is a lot like every other conference right now where I think there are two teams to really have a conversation about, and that is Wisconsin and Ohio State, and then everybody else is just trying to find their way into the conversation. Wisconsin may have the one method, if they can slow down the game the way they've been slowing down the game, they may have the one method in the conference that can topple Ohio State, although that's hard to see right now. And I think what you're looking at is Iowa and Penn State, to me, are the two teams that are at the next tier. I'm putting Michigan State and Michigan both sort of in that they don't really belong in the national conversation. They're not really top 25 teams to me. Mm-hmm. So I think Penn State will start to separate themselves over the course of the year. I don't know why we haven't fought in more, and part of that I think is that James Franklin isn't the most popular guy week in and week out, and so that matters when it comes to who we like talking about. And I don't mean we as in me, I just mean we, the media in general. So I do believe as Penn State goes on, they'll get more love.
I think Franklin quietly has done a nice job at Penn State. I mean, quietly.
He
just has not gotten enough love for it. He's not gotten the big one. Yeah, he's not winning big yet, but he's done a nice job if you look at the overall resume, and he's got him in the conversation once again. All right, we're going to let you go, man, but I want to give you some fashion advice for this week in Gainesville, okay? And I think you should wear some jorts because you probably have Minshew mania as well.
No, we all have Minshew mania. I'd rather wear the mustache, but it would take me 3 weeks to grow the thing out. So, maybe the jorts are the way to go. I'll just try and find jorts and a fake mustache and rock a whole look.
Do you guys feel Minshew mania?
Oh, my God, yeah. Everybody's enamored with that. I mean, Minshew mania is national at this point. Sorry, Nick Foles, man. I hope you work out the next place you end up, but give me all the Gardner Minshew I could possibly get.
Jason Fitz from ESPN hosts 5 to 6 a.m. first and last. Also on Golic and Wingo, regularly right here on ESPN 690. Countdown to game day Saturday mornings with David Pollack, Maria Taylor on the ESPN app, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And he'll be in Gainesville this weekend. Check it out, 8:30 in the morning. Have some fun in the swamp, man. It will be a good one.
We will. Everybody say hi. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it.
All right. Jason Fitz from ESPN. They'll have a big game on Saturday. We're going to talk more about a little college football. Take a break. When we come back, I want to get into that Gators game a little bit more. And also, I think there are now more teams in the conversation, to kind of what Jason was saying, that now could play into the national championship race. Didn't North Carolina prove that?
Oh, man.
It's not just Clemson?
Well,
and probably it's not just Alabama because the SEC is pretty deep, at least in the top 4.
I was cheering that whole game for North Carolina, too, because obviously I don't have Clemson in my Final Four for the playoffs.
That was almost the moment.
That was a heartbreak. I had my tweets all lined up, ready to go and everything, but unfortunately, the Tar Heels couldn't pull it off.
I have a what-if question if North Carolina had won this game against Clemson. I'll ask it to you and see what you think next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A mix of clouds and sun today with a few scattered showers developing, highs in the mid-80s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jacks from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904. Powered by Cox Media Group.
Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all 3. Family owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And your home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations, or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
Time to register for the 16th annual USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K, one of the premier running events in the Southeast. It all happens Saturday, October 12th, starting at Metro Park. It's a family-friendly event featuring high-tech military vehicles and prizes. Proceeds benefit the Jacksonville USO and other military charities. The USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K, happening October 12th. Don't wait. Register today online at jacksusohalfmarathon.com.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Is today the day it'll finally stop raining?
We sure hope so, but it's been a very wet summer so far. This is Mike with Big Fish Roofing. Don't forget, your roof is the first line of defense against the elements. Here at Big Fish Roofing, as an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Contractor, we are locally owned and we drive our business with quality and integrity. We do not require any down payments until your roof project is complete. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing. We are the roofers you can trust. We are Big Fish Roofing.
There are many paths to take to launch a successful small business. The first step is to start with a good roadmap, such as a business plan. If you need help putting one together, let one of the mentors at SCORE help. Since 1964, SCORE has been assisting aspiring and current entrepreneurs through a nationwide network of 10,000 volunteers with expertise in many different fields. In the Jacksonville area, our mentors can meet with clients at 6 different locations. If you want to schedule a free confidential appointment, go to jacksonville.score.org.
It is the home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18, and it can be your golf destination, the Golf Club at Southampton. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. The Golf Club at Southampton is where I play a lot of golf, and you can too. Enjoy your golf experience by calling 287-PLAY. Play some golf, watch some football, and oh yeah, food. They've got that too. Southampton has it all, even a special tailgate catering menu. Give Lisa a call for your tailgate catering. 287-PLAY for tee times, football, and food at the Golf Club at Southampton.
I'm Thea Jeffers, owner of Breezy Jazz Club and T-Works Interior Decorating. It doesn't matter where you come from, it's possible to own your own business. But starting a business isn't easy. The Jacksonville Women's Business Center helped give me the confidence to keep going when the going got tough. At JWBC, I got the training, networking, and support I needed to help me reach my goals. To find out more about how JWBC can help you, visit jaxwbc.com.
Hey, boss.
What?
You think it's okay to get out of here yet?
No, the cops may be still patrolling around out there. Give it another 10 minutes.
Okay. Boss?
What?
You still mad at me?
Well, let's assess our situation, shall we? Here we are hiding out from the cops in this storm pipe because you neglected to determine that the house we came up on had safe touch security. Is my assessment correct?
Yeah, but I swear they didn't have safe touch last week.
I don't want to hear about it, Corn Pop. We didn't even get to the front door before the safe touch video monitoring kicked in. Now here we are, crouching in this stinking ditch.
Sorry, boss.
Just so I know you know, tell me the Crooksarus motto again.
Stay away from safe touch houses.
At least you got that right.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Hey everybody, this is Brent Martineau. Family, food, and football. Renna's Pizza checks the box on all three. Family owned in Jacksonville for more than 40 years. Fresh ingredients every day. And your home for football all fall. Watch the games and dine in at Renna's 5 locations or let Renna's help with your football get-together. A menu to satisfy the entire family's appetite. There's a Renna's Pizza near you. Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. Family, food, and football at Renna's Pizza.
The Stephen A. Smith Show.
I don't know what would make him think I would care about it. I don't give a damn whether I'm blocked on Instagram or not. Not like I tried to Instagram him directly. Anybody thinking about trying to post something on his page?
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Now, back to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 and in the iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, we really do have an idea bar down in TV land. And it's not the bar that you're thinking.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
What do you guys serving up?
Do they have Vita Deluxe down
over there? What do you guys serving up over there?
Like,
$1 million idea.
Yeah, Vita Deluxe, man. That's what they got down in the idea.
I was never invited to the idea bar. I'm kind of bummed.
I don't get invited either. But I send ideas. And they don't usually get responded to.
Here's the real question. Is there a bouncer at the idea bar? Or is
there a cover?
Easy come, easy go? All right, yeah, exactly.
I don't think this is a nightclub. It's usually a 9 to 5 type of thing.
Fair enough. Well, the Cheesecake Factory is not a nightclub either, Brent, but you're still bouncing there.
I'm still employed.
It is what it is, man.
I've been kicking ass at the Cheesecake Factory. I almost said the Strawberry Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, I love it.
Man, you should see some of the things that can happen over there.
I can only imagine, dude.
Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs hanging out with us. Talk a little college football. You're going to the Gators game. Tough ticket to get, you were saying.
Yeah, I actually just looked it up.
Not for you. I mean, you're America's guest.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have a good time. We're really looking forward to it. I just looked it up. I looked on StubHub. Right now, the cheapest ticket to get in the building is $182.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for the Swamp.
Yeah,
I like
man.
to see it rocking.
It's been a while.
It has.
LSU game last year was loud. We were talking about that at the break. But, I mean, it's been a while since there's been a really hot ticket.
Yeah. That's, you're getting some of these, but the consistency, the landscape's just changed all across the board.
And a lot of people aren't going to games.
Some of it's if you're good. Some of it's if you have the right opponent in town. And even like this next 4 weeks is tough for the Gators. South Carolina we put in the mix because it's kind of that sandwich game and all that, which won't be easy. And it's on the road. But LSU games in Baton Rouge. Obviously, Florida Georgia is here in Jacksonville. So this is, despite all the big games coming up, this is their one opportunity for everybody to see someone big and a ranked team, a top 10 team, College Game Day, CBS for the afternoon game, all that stuff. And that's cool that everybody's going to come out and see it. Place should be rocking. I think they win this game. I know it's Tuesday. There's a lot that can change. I almost feel like they have to win this game,
Absolutely.
So maybe that's why I think they win the game. I don't know if they're the better team, and I think I've illustrated enough now that I'm not a huge, I don't believe Florida's a really, really, really good football team. I think Mullen knows how to win. I think they're good enough. I think their defense is strong. Offensive line will be a question mark, of course, especially against Auburn's front. But I just think this is one of those games, kind of the way it plays out with LSU. It's going to be near impossible to win that game.
And it's a night game now.
In Baton Rouge. It's just going to be tough. I believe the gap is still pretty wide between Florida and Georgia. And so in Jacksonville, rivalry game closes the gap. I get it, but I still believe Georgia's the top dog there, literally. And I think they'll get the win in Carolina because I think that's what Mullen does. He finds a way to win that game even though it's not easy. So this is the one mystery one for me. And I think the way college football works, I think the way the Gators have been, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt at home in a rocking stadium to come out and play really well.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think you hit on a few points there. Obviously, offensive line is huge. They've been having a really hard time running the ball. So they're going to have to throw to run, which is not a great situation. But with the quarterback switch, it might actually work out better for them this way. So we'll know early, I think, kind of the way they set the tempo. Obviously, the place is going to be super loud. I'm going to say Florida's winning this game. I'm with you on LSU. Obviously, South Carolina, and there's just this little part of me that just thinks they're going to steal one of the other one, and it's probably because I'm a Gator fan, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it absolutely is.
Trust me, what it is.
I hang around with enough of them.
Yeah, there's this, but if they lose this one, it could get real bad, and that's the realist. If they lose this one, you could be 1-3. If they win this one, like you said, you could steal one and somehow come out of it 3-1. But if you made me put my money on it, Brent, I'm saying 2-2.
Yeah, but that's what they are. You know, if they lost 2 games this season, that's what they are. They're not. I mean, they are not an elite team,
especially to those teams, though.
And especially to those teams, they're in a tough situation because Auburn's coming and playing lights out. But can they keep it up? I'm not convinced Auburn's an elite team, quite frankly. I put them in the same basket. But they passed the test. They passed tests. You brought up all the Auburn tests.
Yeah.
Florida hasn't had a test. Mm-hmm. They haven't had to pass any tests yet.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Miami to start a week earlier and they did okay, but I mean, okay.
It was ugly.
They did it. They got it done. But these are tests. And I just think at the end of the day, you're going to be kind of who you are. And I think who the Gators are, probably a 2-loss team and maybe even a 3-loss team.
Yeah, and we talk about the young quarterback with Bo Nix. When we watched him play against Oregon, he did show that he was a young quarterback. He definitely made some mistakes, but he's progressively got better and better. Now, to Texas A&M, it was a close game. Auburn pulled out at the last second when they won by 8 points and everything. But, man, I see, like, a part of me wants to say, all right, well, this is a different environment for him, all right? You're playing at 3:30. College game day is going to be the Swamp's going to be absolutely rocking. Like, is Bo Nix ready for that type of environment? I get it. A&M's a tough place to play. It's like a 100,000-seat stadium, and I understand that. The atmosphere is crazy there, too. But now, you go to the Swamp and everything. It's a different place to play, and you got to wonder. And listen, I did the same thing with Trevor Lawrence last year, Brent, in the national championship game. I said Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be ready for the big moment against an Alabama defense that's absolutely legit. Well, Trevor Lawrence proved me wrong, and he was the best thing since sliced bread. Now he's struggling this year a little bit, and maybe we can talk about that later this week. So I don't know. I mean, to me, it comes down to what kind of Bo Nix you're going to get. And if I know what I'm going to get so far with what I've seen on film, I mean, it's only going to be more progressive. I think it's going to be hard to stop him in that Auburn offense.
How about just in general? One final thought on college football. Do you feel like it's Clemson, Alabama still? Or do you feel like it's Clemson, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ohio State, maybe in Auburn or Florida, whoever comes through here? Georgia, I keep leaving Georgia out. Georgia's in that mix. They clearly are in the mix. So, I mean, all of a sudden, where I couldn't at the start of this year find you 5 teams to maybe win a national title. Now I might be able to find you 6. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, listen,
Wisconsin, should I get him in there?
No, I was just going to say that. Like, yeah, obviously I'm the Wisconsin guy, but I'll be honest with you. And Northwestern kind of showed the blueprint how to beat Wisconsin. Like, Wisconsin's had the most trouble with Northwestern, it seems like, for like the past 5 years. And it's simple. You load the box, you stop the run, make the quarterback beat you. And Jake Cohn, for the most part, couldn't beat him. So if we're talking about teams that have caught my attention, to me, it's Ohio State. Right, because Ohio State, we were kind of up and down. Well, they got a new coach this year. How are they going to respond to that? They've responded to the nth degree. And I think the biggest thing going forward now is like when they played Nebraska. I get it. Ohio State's supposed to win that game. But in the past, when they played teams like Nebraska or Iowa, they've been upset, right?
Yeah.
Like they always had that one stinker of a game where it's like, what the heck was that? Like, what was that, Ohio State? Well, that could have been that game against Nebraska, but you saw what happened. I mean, it was a massacre on national television. So I like Ohio State, man, to tell you the truth. I think Ohio State might be the top team or number 2 team in the nation right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think going to your point, I think I'd take that second choice, that group of 5 or 6 teams, where we all kind of thought, okay, it's going to be Bama, it's going to be Clemson, but a lot of teams are really stepping up. That's what makes the playoffs so fun. At the end of the year,
if there were 8 of them.
I think so too, man. I really do. I think 6 or 8's the answer. I kind of like 6. You like 8?
I don't mind either way. I like more.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. I like more than 4 because I think 6 would certainly fit, but I wouldn't mind 8 because I don't mind getting the UCF or the Boise State or somebody else giving them a chance and playing. And
I just worry, does
situation.
8 bring in a 2? Does 8 bring in a 2 or possibly a 3-loss team?
Yeah, I guess you could in some years.
Yeah.
But then there will be other years where, again, right now, as it sits right now, I'll find you 8 teams that I'd like to see play against each other and be in a playoff. And now, it's not at the beginning of the year, I don't think I would have said that. But that's why it's unpredictable. Some years you'd say, oh, shoot, I wish we did have 4.
And then listen, when you're talking about, the Alabama Clemsons, I mean, to me, it's all about the quarterback play, right? And for the most part, Tua has been living up to the name, right? Yep. Like he keeps progressing. Now, I watched the Ole Miss game. He might have missed a couple of throws, but Alabama dominated Ole Miss.
They scored 59.
Yeah.
7 touchdowns.
Should you be concerned with Trevor Lawrence, though? This is a guy, Brent, that everybody was speaking so highly of, and now all of a sudden,
next Peyton Manning, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And now I can't put a point like he's throwing off his back foot a little more. I saw in that North Carolina game. Doesn't look the most comfortable. Like, should you be concerned with Trevor Lawrence and his ability to lead this Clemson offense?
Yeah, I think he should, but I also believe in Dabo Swinney's probably one heck of a football coach. I think that's been proven, and usually those kind of teams get better as they go and figure stuff out. They did lose a lot, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm not super concerned because of the ACC. If they had other places to go, I would probably be a little more concerned. And he has not played that well. Mm-hmm. And, I always say this about the NFL. Maybe it's true in college football a little bit too. The league corrects. People catch up to you. And you have to bring it. And you're not prepared for that until you see it. Mm-hmm. You can think you're prepared for that. I'm not saying he didn't work his butt off and try to get better, and he might have got better in the offseason. But you're not changing stuff up until people stop you.
True.
From an offensive standpoint and from a player standpoint. Well, now it's time to correct yourself. And for the next handful of games or whatever this leads to, you have to now figure out what they've caught on to, And I think that will be the interesting chess match that happens with Dabo Swinney, with Trevor Lawrence, and that will decide, is he next level?
So let me ask you this. Does this season for Clemson really identify what type of coach Dabo Swinney is? Because, say, if you have a little adversity, you can't get Trevor Lawrence going, does that kind of hurt you as a coach a little bit, as opposed to like a Lincoln Riley, who it doesn't matter who the quarterback is at Oklahoma, it seems like they just plug and play, and the guy's a Heisman candidate and a Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, except they're going to have to prove they can win big games, and Dabo's already done that. So Dabo's got enough equity in my book. Mm-hmm. He's got 2 national titles. Yeah. He's enough equity to say whatever the heck you want to say if you're Dabo Swinney. And I think Lincoln's proven that and doing a great job with it, but he's going to have to win big. Mm-hmm. And he's yet to win big, and it's still early on, but he's yet to win big. With all these quarterbacks that he has, what if they run all through this thing? Right? Mm-hmm. And they have all these quarterbacks, and they're winning Heisman trophies, and they're putting up these video game numbers, and they don't win big. What does that say about Lincoln Riley? What does that say about Oklahoma?
Probably get a new defensive coordinator.
that was the big knock on Clemson before they, it was Clemsoning.
Yeah, it was. Before
until they got those 2 titles. So,
one last question about Clemson: if they had lost to North Carolina, were they still in the national title mix? Because here's the deal. They could still win the ACC. They probably are going to win the ACC. The ACC champ, the champ with a lot of equity, like an Alabama now. They've got equity like Alabama does, right?
Correct.
I mean, they're the team. They're the name. They want them in there. They've seen what they've done. Oh, okay, that was just a slip up.
It's still early.
Would they have made it?
So you know how I feel about it already. I didn't have Clemson in my Final Four. I had Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, and who's my other team? I'm blanking on the name. Oh, yeah, Oklahoma. Thank you. Yeah, Oklahoma.
Murray State.
Yeah, Murray State. Murray State as my dark horse. No, so
at least you didn't have Utah and Michigan and lose them on the same weekend.
Exactly. And listen, when this hurt a little bit, and when you talk about Clemson and Alabama kind of having that prestige now, that pomp and circumstance, I do agree with that. But let's be honest, though, Brent, Alabama is still coming from the SEC, and unfortunately, I don't think the ACC is really that great of a competition this year. So, if things were to shake out, you have an undefeated Ohio State, undefeated Oklahoma, and it comes down to, do you take another SEC team or you let an ACC team? I'm probably taking the Georgia or the LSU, a team that's only got 1 loss because they played better competition week in, week out.
It would have to be how it shook out.
Yeah, because who are they going to see in the ACC championship?
I don't know.
And how many losses is that team going to have? So what's the quality of that win going to be?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's fair. And that's why I'm curious about it. Depends on what happens.
It's a really good question.
But there's still other teams that might even have 2 losses in the SEC.
Yeah.
Then would you put them, so where do you weigh it? And I think the Pac-12 is obviously they're in a bad spot because of everything going on there. It would be interesting if they had lost that game to see if they could rebound. And here's the deal. If they had lost that game, Clemson would probably go thump everybody now by 40.
You'd
45,
have to.
50, 40. And then they'd be like, and then everybody, short memories.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately? They'd be like, here they come. They figured it out.
But you keep this in mind, though, Brent,
Trevor Lawrence did the promise.
But you have to look at the quality opponent. You have to look at the quality opponent that you lost to, right? They lost to North Carolina. Well, North Carolina got beat by Appalachian State.
I mean, I like Appalachian State.
I think we all do. But, Brent, but that's a fact, though. You know, like, we don't know what kind of team North Carolina really is. And that doesn't help you when you're picking teams to go to the playoff. It happened with Ohio State a couple years ago. Ohio State gets beat by Purdue, I believe, gets stomped by them. Yeah. And they cut the Ohio State out of the Final Four.
Yep.
And probably rightfully so. Now, granted, this game was close between North Carolina and Clemson, but at the same time, you have to look at the quality opponent that you lose to.
How does it happen in sports? I just said this earlier today. I was with some folks and talking some sports. And how do you lose to Appalachian State and come back and almost beat Clemson?
That's what's great about college football.
I mean, it's great about sports in general.
In general, but college football
NFL is
specifically.
week to week like that too. And I get it. It's great. But I really have never figured out how it happens.
It's crazy.
Like, how does that happen?
I wish I had an answer for you. I really do.
Austin, is it just tempo?
I mean, let's be honest here. The only thing that I can really logically say is that they take them for granted, right? I mean, yeah, tempo could be a big thing, and, you know, obviously you're not accustomed to seeing that type of style. Like, see, for me, like Army versus Michigan, that was a setup because Army almost beat Michigan. That would have been a huge upset, right? Well, but you know what Army's going to do, right? Army's going to pound the rock, and Michigan can stop it. If you look at North Carolina, Appalachian State, North Carolina had all the tools to make this a blowout. You saw them against Clemson. I think it's just the fact that sometimes, whether you have a great coach like Mac Brown or not, sometimes guys just take those type of games for granted. I mean, we did it at Murray State. You know, we'd play like an NAIA school. We play like Lambeth. We didn't take Lambeth seriously. And guess what? At halftime in my senior year, it was 10-10.
Yeah.
And they're not on scholarship, or half of them are, or whatever. And we're getting, you know, tied with a team that's not getting paid, you know, a scholarship, not getting paid to play, but not getting a scholarship. But it happens.
We know what you were slipped at Murray State.
All right, well, yeah, you know, maybe got a little free ice cream cone from the Dairy Queen.
What were you driving at Murray State there?
So I had a 96 Cadillac. Ooh, yeah, Cadillac DeVille, green. Money green, as I called it.
When you go back to be inducted in the Hall of Fame,
yeah.
Murray State's going to now go on probation.
Yeah.
What?
That's when the story's going to break.
Literally, I got a free ice cream cone. That was it. That was it.
Breaking news.
Did you steal that?
No, they handed it to me. Dude, you got to remember, Murray State's a basketball school. They could care less about football.
Why didn't you go get crab legs?
Because I was in Murray State, man. I'm going to Ryan Steakhouse. Forget the crab legs.
Ryan Steakhouse. We used to stop Ryan Steakhouse all the time, like on baseball trips.
Yeah.
And we'd always have it be our assistant coach's birthday. So they would always have to sing to him.
The free desserts, man. Absolutely. That's a nice little move.
Hey, Minshew Mania, what does it mean in Martin's world? And then we'll let you go.
Man, this is crazy.
No, not yet. It's coming up next.
Okay.
We're taking a break. ESPN 690 rolls on.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jags earned themselves some time off from practice this week after a victory in Denver. Here's Coach Marone telling the guys they don't have to come in on Monday or Tuesday.
We're going to go on the road next week playing another good team in Carolina, okay? All right, so I want you guys to make sure you get your lift in, all right, before I see your sorry asses on Wednesday.
This also means we have no idea where the Jalen Ramsey status is. In the meantime, baseball playoffs start tonight with a wild card matchup featuring Milwaukee and the Nationals, and then again tomorrow with Tampa and Oakland. Playoffs start for real on Thursday. Former Jag Jonathan Cyprien was part of a trade earlier today between Atlanta and Philadelphia. Eagles have acquired Duke Riley, a linebacker, and a 2026 round pick from Atlanta in exchange for safety Jonathan Cyprien and a 2027th round pick. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
What's the fastest way to get behind the wheel of a 2020 Toyota? Toyota Rent-A-Car from my friends over at Arlington Toyota. The 2020 models are now arriving at Arlington Toyota, and Toyota Rent-A-Car is the best way to try it before you buy it. Got a road trip coming up, a long weekend with the girls, or a football getaway maybe? Toyota Rent-A-Car at Arlington Toyota's got you covered with an amazing selection of 2020 Toyotas that are road and rental ready. Everything about renting a Toyota from Arlington Toyota is easy. They've got amazing 2020 models, simple online reservations, and staff that's always eager to help. Gotta tell you, the hardest part's gonna be when it's time to turn your rental back in. These 2020s are sweet. Toyota Rent-A-Car from Arlington Toyota is ready to put you behind the wheel of a 2020 Toyota for your next adventure. Just visit arlingtontoyota.com. That's arlingtontoyota.com and get your online reservation started today.
Anyone can get on the radio these days and say whatever they want. But how many people back up what they say? Beard's Diamonds does. Here's Ben, the second generation of jewelers at Beard's.
I grew up here. My dad started this business 38 years ago. We know how good our diamond prices are, but we want to make sure that you know. That's why Beard's Diamonds is offering you a $500 gift card if you can find any GIA certified diamond for less, anywhere in North Florida.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center and at beardsdiamonds.com.
Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
This season, our team will have the best defense in the league. For your home, the best defense is a fence from Armstrong Fence Company. When it comes to home fences, Jacksonville owners trust Armstrong Fence Company. Visit Armstrong-Fence.com. That's Armstrong-Fence.com. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with a licensed local expert with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME. That's 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Get super savings on over 1,000 vehicles on the lot right now at Arlington Toyota. It's the 2020 Supra Sales Event going on now at Arlington Toyota. Plus, you'll pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019 Toyotas. You heard right, up to 50% less on remaining pre-owned 2019s. Looking at a 2019 Toyota Highlander? It's not $35,500. Now, it's only $24,888. That's $24,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Highlander at Arlington Toyota. Thinking about a 2019 Toyota 4Runner? It's not $36,500. No way. Now it's just $28,888. Just $28,888 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota 4Runner at Arlington Toyota. But Arlington gives you even more with their $5,000 Advantage Club. It comes with your purchase and it's packed with savings, discounts, rewards, and even a national lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles for new purchases. Shop Arlington Toyota today, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard, and online at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/super savings for offer details.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
You know where you win games, Dan? In the trenches on Sundays.
Appreciate all your thoughts on this matter.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
I'm Kevin Rahm, and this is Action Sports Jax.
Coos, we must be making money or something, man. These commercial breaks are getting longer and longer. I don't know what to do with myself.
I'm making a whole lot of money.
That's what we learned in Dallas. Yeah.
Coos commercials.
Coos commercials.
All right, Martin Buckley with us from Palm Beach Autographs, and now let's utilize his expertise. We did it on the NCAA Talk. If you missed that, always check it out on the Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 podcast, or you can always watch our show on the social media platforms. Basically, it's a 24-hour show, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
You can watch it anytime.
Yep.
Listen anytime.
I watch from the comfort of my couch in the evening hours.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Light a candle.
I think.
I mean, like, I get we're always trying to get better here, Brent. You know, we're always trying to expand the horizons. Like, what's going to be the next thing?
I don't want to tell
maybe
everybody.
I'll tell everybody, but like,
don't tell everybody.
Okay.
We got plans.
It's gonna be in a work meeting.
We
I
got
guess.
tricks.
Okay.
We don't want the competition knowing what's
We
up.
got to go to the Idea Bar.
The Idea Bar.
That's where I spend a lot of my nights in the Idea Bar.
Idea Bar.
That door is not locked.
Brent's got quite the tab already piled up.
I'm the only one in it
at the Idea Bar.
Listening to myself on the ideas. That's a good idea, Brent. Very good.
Yeah.
I like
little
that
pat
one.
on the back.
Yeah. That's a really good idea. I mean, seriously, how many times have you done that, right? Like in your business?
Daily?
Like other stuff, you're like, that could be a freaking good idea.
Oh, dude, I've had so many of them. Do you want to hear two of them? I don't even care. Like, you know, like making money's important, but, you know, whatever.
Not when you're like, get your bank account.
Well,
I understand.
Here, I mean, let me go and pitch this one to you real quick, Brent. You like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
I do.
You like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, man?
I love them.
Who doesn't like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right?
I like
Uncrustables.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Doesn't really apply to what I'm trying to sell you here, but yeah, Uncrustables are really good.
How about peanut butter
that
and jelly
actually
wings?
kills my idea.
Guy.
Huh?
Peanut butter and jelly wings at Stream Song Resort last week.
What?
Still sound a little aggressive.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, no, you're good. I mean, probably not for me.
Okay.
They were good?
I didn't try.
Okay, there you go.
You said they were on the menu.
Okay, gotcha. But what problem do you have when you're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the peanut butter sometimes when you're getting low, right? Like you have to dip your hand in. Yeah.
And it gets all over your hand.
Double-sided peanut butter jar you can unscrew from both sides.
Yes.
Thanks.
You need to do that.
Thanks.
Brilliant.
There you go.
Why don't we have that?
Cha-ching.
I feel like I've talked about that before.
It took our.
Did you steal my idea?
You stole my idea, man. I came out of the womb talking about this. I was like 3 years old. Mom, you know what would be great? If I could like not get my hands with peanut butter in the jar, what?
This is what happens when you guys go to the Idea Bar. Everyone thinks the same idea.
I've already got it patented.
Oh, you do not have it patented, man. Don't you dare try to Mark Zuckerberg me, okay? I've seen how that movie works, and I'll see you in court.
What's your other one?
That was it. That's the only one you get for free.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got some other ones.
Okay.
My mom, I was just talking to my mom. She came up with like a one. She's like, I'm going to trademark this right now. So we'll see if it comes up, if it's good or not.
Okay.
But it's funny, like it's the stupid stuff that works.
Absolutely.
It is.
And that you're like, that's dumb. That's not going to work.
Yep.
And
it's got to be practical.
But it's got to be, yeah.
Practical is the key.
Then it's these other things you're like, well, that would really, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. And it's like a dud.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Speaking of Minshew Mania, how much he's a rookie deal, remember?
Correct.
I hesitate to say he's not making a lot of money. as a rookie guy, is making probably close to $500,000 this season. But in the NFL life, he's not making a lot of money. Not a huge bonus to sign as a 6th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So how much does he have to step on this moment right now in your world, from autographs to engagements to all this other stuff, and balance the idea of playing and get ready for football games? Difficult task.
Yeah, that's the thing. It is a balancing beam there. He's getting tons of offers right now. I mean, just from the memorabilia side. We've got our offers in. I know there's other people at play as well that want to do things. But at the same time, there's only so many days in a week, right? Like they get Tuesdays off?
Correct. That's it. He's off today.
So, and he's probably working. He's probably doing something, studying film. He's doing something. So how much time does he want to spend, doing commercials, doing speaking engagements or appearances? I mean, there's not a lot of time for it. A lot of the big name guys really like doing that stuff in the off season. Right? And that's when they do that stuff during the off season. They don't do a ton of it during the week, but we would absolutely love to have him in and have him into the store. And we've got tons of ideas. We got to get some jorts ready to be autographed. We're going to have mandatory mustaches. If you want to get a picture or a photo, a picture with him, you got to have a mustache or have one on. So
we got to get it done.
Yeah, the ideas write themselves. So we're really hoping to have him in. It's been crazy to see on the secondary market. He did some card deals and stuff with Panini, who's great friends of ours, and his cards were selling for like, $10-20. And I was just looking during the break, and I pulled it up. $100, $120
really?
Now for a rookie Gardner Minshew autograph card in just a matter of 2 weeks, going from $10 or $20.
Is that because they don't have a ton of them?
Yeah, it's supply versus demand.
Yeah, sure.
And so there's not a lot of stuff out there. And imagine what it's going to be like during the holidays.
I think the NFL rushed a jersey being made.
They did.
Right?
Yeah, I ordered a jersey for Mark's son, and I still haven't gotten it.
You have it?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's a great thing, and we'll have a couple minutes, but I even said this to you. I said, I want to order a jersey for the kids. My kids don't really wear jerseys, but I want to order it because I want them to remember the moment, even if it doesn't last, right?
Great.
Remember this time. It's kind of fun.
Exactly.
That's what you buy it for. But what if, let's think on the negative side of things, this thing lasts for a couple more weeks, it kind of fizzles out. What is the staying power of something like this if you did sign them from a memorabilia standpoint and you had all this stuff, will it have any value a year from now, 8 months from now, even if the Minshew mania isn't as crazy as it is right now?
Yeah, I think he would be fine. I think he's really branded himself. He has his whole persona with the mustache and the headbands that people are going to come in and let's just say it fades and Folds comes back and, they move on. During the holidays, all those kids that fell in love with Minshew, they're going to want that. All the people they're going to still, like to your point, they're going to still want the jersey or the football to remember it. And I really think if Folds comes back and there's any sort of struggle, I think we're going to have that sort of like almost Tebow sense where the crowd is going to start cheering for him.
Yeah.
He has that kind of lore on the fan base right now.
Interesting.
So in your business, with the draw of Gardner Minshew, what percentage is talent on the field and what percentage is his personality that is the big draw right now in selling autographs and things like that?
That's a great question. I mean, off the top of my head, I'd almost say 50-50.
Okay.
Obviously the success on the field and the comeback, come from behind win and everything like that is great, but the whole persona about him. You guys even dressing up like him.
Yeah.
People going to the games wearing jorts. I saw a dude wearing just a jock strap at the last home game. Did you guys see that?
I didn't. Thankfully, I didn't.
A dude in the north end zone was wearing just a jock strap.
That's all. Martin Buckley from Palm Beach Autographs, fully clothed, by the way. Thanks for hanging out with us today. More to come on Minshew and the Jags. And what about Yannick Ngakoue next on Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690?
WOKV AM's license will expire on February 1st, 2020. We have filed an application for renewal with the FCC. A copy of this application is available for public inspection at www.fcc.gov. It contains information concerning this station's performance during the last 8 years. Individuals who wish to advise the FCC of facts relating to our renewal application and to whether this station has operated in the public interest should file comments and petitions with the FCC by January 2nd, 2020. Further information concerning the FCC's broadcast license renewal process is available at 11700 Central Parkway, Unit 1, Jacksonville, Florida, 32224, or may be obtained from the FCC, Washington, D.C., 20554, www.fcc.gov.
Shop the 904.
This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
When you shop locally owned businesses, most of the money you spend with them stays right here in our community.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Hey, it's Trey Wingo from Golic and Wingo, and you're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Major League Baseball's postseason begins tonight with the Nationals hosting the Brewers in the NL Wild Card game, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Scherzer and Brandon Woodruff. The decision to start Scherzer, a three-time Cy Young Award winner, a no-brainer for the Nats, notes ESPN's Buster Olney.
If you're around that team and you're around Max Scherzer, then to me it was almost by default. Yeah, if there's one game and you need one pitcher to save your life on one day, it's always going to be Max Scherzer, even if he's not at his absolute best.
Buster Olney on the Baseball Tonight podcast. Milwaukee outfielders Ryan Braun and Lorenzo Cain both expected to play despite injuries. The winner faces the Dodgers in the NLDS. The A's announced lefty Sean Manaea will start tomorrow's AL wildcard game against the Rays. Tampa Bay previously named Charlie Morton its starter. The NHL suspended Sharks winger Evander Kane 3 games for pushing an official during Sunday's preseason game. That incident happened during Kane's altercation with Golden Knights defenseman Derek Engelland.
At Napa, get a 5-quart jug of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for just $26.99 and a $10 mail-in rebate. General states pricing. Sale prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. Offer ends 10/31/19.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Like I said, the good conversations happen in the break. We're still talking. Martin Buckley on his way out, Palm Beach Autographs. Going to Guns N' Roses, America's Guest. Doesn't miss the concert.
Have fun tonight, man. I'm jealous.
Tournament. It's unbelievable, this guy.
I'm jealous, man. I want to go with you, but unfortunately, the Milwaukee Brewers call, Brent.
That's all right.
The Milwaukee Brewers call tonight.
Hey, speaking of concerts, how about Thomas Rhett? You want to go there? You don't answer that question.
I was like, are you asking that question right now?
There are a lot of people that do, and I wouldn't mind too. If I didn't have high school football on Friday, I'd probably go to this.
Check it out.
Zach Brown Band coming up in a couple weeks. I'll be there.
I'm not mad at that one, Brent.
Pretty good. I'm going to that.
Is that at Daly's?
That's at Daly's.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Man.
Wonder if Zach will come on the show. I love you, Zach Brown Band. Come on, man. You're my favorite. Come on the show.
Have him be like our celebrity guest for the six-pack.
I know. We'll do it a day early. He'll be in town.
Into sports.
We'll do the show at Daly's if they'll let us. I doubt they will.
Yeah.
But come on,
Zach. Where's the camera right there? Yeah. Hey, Zach. I sang Colder Weather in the middle of downtown Chicago for karaoke during St. Patty's Day last year in front of thousands of people. The least he can do is come on our show and make some football picks.
Well, the least. I mean, we're trying to be nice to him here. We're trying to get him on. I'll tell him I every night before the kids went to bed, sang Chicken Fried to the kids.
And I'm going to be honest, Colder Weather, not a good karaoke choice.
Tough one?
I totally misread the room. Well, it's kind of a downer, right? Like, you can't go from Sweet Caroline to all of a sudden, all right, Colder Weather. I know, man.
Gosh,
right?
What a great song.
Oh, Brent, the goosebumps.
I just got him too.
Brent, the goosebumps, man.
This is such a good
You
song.
talk about some
Is
real,
that 'cause you're cold,
some
or is
real
it because
life.
of the
No,
song?
because it's talking about real life, Coos. You should listen sometime. Oh, man, yeah.
I love this guy.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And now, did I nail every single note in that bar? You better believe I did, Brent. I almost cried during this Turmeric karaoke performance.
What you should do is see if Zach and the band need a little saxophone.
Now we're talking little baritone saxophone action.
All-state saxophone.
Yep, better believe it. Don't be afraid to say it. And that's the funny thing, talking to Jason Fitzpatrick, too, today.
Fitz.
I'm sorry, Fitz, not Fitzpatrick.
No, you're thinking
Jason,
Ryan
we're talking about Ryan
Fitzpatrick.
Jason Fitz. Sorry about that, Jason. It's
The
a
Band
Zach
Perry.
Brown. Yeah, Band Perry. Thank you. But it's crazy now because I have to change my son's course of what he's going to do with his life. You know, like I was pushing him down the football route, but now talking to Jason, talking to Fitz and everything, I think we have to go with the band route. And that's going to be fine. But like, I don't want to be that band dad that's going to have his son playing in the parking lot with some friends, you know, playing catch up, playing 500 with the football. I'll be like, get your butt home. We got practice to do. Like, I don't want my son out here throwing the football around like, you know, some Neanderthal. Get in your room and get on that saxophone. So I don't want to have to be that dad, Brent, but unless NCAA makes some changes, I just might have to be.
By the way, Zach Brown Band, too, has a new album out, The Owl.
Okay.
So I've been listening to it. I got it right here.
What do you think? Good stuff?
I like it.
Okay.
I do like it.
I'll
Yeah.
check it out. I'll check it out.
It is one of the few. I think Zach Brown Band and probably Eric Church are the two, and I like a lot of other country stuff, but those are the two that I say I can't wait till the album comes out, the new album.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do that. Like you guys do that with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Right?
Something like that,
I
yeah.
remember when it came out. You guys were about as excited as I've ever seen you
it
in
was,
the show.
It was more joking, but yeah. Okay,
No, I
go
think
ahead.
it was genuine
All
by
right,
Coos.
man. Okay. It might have been genuine by
My other
Coos.
job depends on me being excited about that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, Zach Brown Band, Thursday, October
Yeah.
17th. We'll do the show over there, and we'll even bring you a bottle of Vida de Luis tequila because
Yeah.
it's always happy hour horn time on the show.
Y'all no make nobody come between us. Y'all make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
As the careless party now begin, see the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes. Gangsters rolling, half face smiling. Heads up, think of the rhythm what you're drinking. Anything goes. Hey.
Grab a drink, get a shot, tip your star tenders.
Hey, Vida de Luis recently got a 94 rating. Vida de Luis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas as well. Vida de Luis has friends all over the place and help them raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising. 50% of all merchandise off VitaDeLuis.com will go to those funds. VitaDeLuis.com. Again, made in Tequila, Mexico. Shipped directly to Jack's Beach. Make your own recipes with Vida de Luis tequila. One of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. Locally owned, and go to VitaDeLuis.com. 50% off all merchandise will go to those funds, Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising, to help our friends in the Bahamas. All right, by the way, I never did give away the Thomas Rhett tickets. Let's do it right now. Coos, your turn to decide what number caller you want. It's all up to you. What did you learn in Texas?
I mean, they didn't go over like caller numbers.
Did they say at the convention, like what number gets called in the most or asked the most? Did they go like, is it 3? Is it 7? We've done 5. Like if we had to do a poll, 5.
Oh, 5's been the one.
I mean,
Bortles, and then, yeah.
What else did we do 5? It was Bortles heavy at first.
Maybe it was just, maybe we didn't even notice. Maybe Bortles had that kind of effect on us the whole time.
Yeah, but we seem to go 5.
We do 5 a lot.
What number?
I was going to say 5.
See?
There you go, 5. I mean, you're the one answering the phones.
Yeah.
So
you did this to yourself.
Thomas Rhett tickets, that's coming up this Friday. Call in now. Now it's 904-362-9901, star 690 to win a couple of tickets. All right, let's get back to some football talk. I got one for you.
Hit me with it.
Yannick Ngakoue. We talked about him for months on the show.
That was a big story for a long time.
We talked about the whole situation. Well, the situation is what it is. I mean, we told you way back in late July, early August, it's a stalemate.
Sure.
And nothing's changing. Nothing's moved. I mean, since then, Jalen Ramsey's done all his things. Miles Jack got paid since from then to now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing doing on the Yannick Ngakoue front, it appears. Numbers aren't piling up for Yannick Ngakoue. 30 sacks through, or 29 and a half through his first 3 years. I think he has 0 because he got credit for 1 when he the touch on the Josh Allen play, but I think Josh Allen ended up getting that sack. Okay. So I think he has 0. How's he playing in your mind, and what's going through his mind, do you think? A month through the year, the numbers aren't out there, and he's playing on a $2 million deal.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question, Brent. Don't mean to put you on the spot, but it's a pretty generic question that could help kind of paint the picture a little bit here. What do you think Yannick Ngakoue's biggest strength is as a defensive end or as a rush guy?
Strip, sack, fumble guy.
Yeah,
I mean, just rushing the passer, you mean?
Yeah, but like what makes him such a good pass rusher?
Oh, speed.
Thank you very much. It's his get off. It's his ability to get off the line. Well, when I watch Yannick Ngakoue, and this is a guy who, and we knocked on wood how many times for him when we're talking about the contract negotiations, obviously the prayers won't hurt because I think he's really getting hampered by his hamstring injury, and listen, hamstring injuries, they can affect offensive linemen, they can affect receiver. I mean, name your position. A lot of guys suffer from hamstring injuries. Leonard Fournette, I think, had a hamstring injury. So, a lot of guys suffer from them. But when you talk about what position you use your hamstrings most, or you have to rely on being healthy, the top of the list is going to be that rush end, because it's all about explosiveness. Some pass rushers, Brent, they can get away with, speed to power. They can get away with maybe a little slower to get off and have to rely more on your strength as opposed to your speed. Well, we talked about Yannick Ngakoue, and if you want to fault him for something, if you want to nitpick him for something, you could say, well, maybe he's a little undersized. Now, obviously, I've shared my thoughts about it. I don't think that's the case, but people could, point to that. Well, if you're a little undersized, your bull rush isn't going to be really a go-to move, right? It's going to be more of the speed rushes, the club rips, things of that nature. Well, if you have a hampered hamstring, if it's even 70%, if you feel it at all, that's going to affect your pass rush. And as a guy who relies so much on getting in and out of his stance as fast as possible, attacking the line, if you can't do that, man, that throws off your whole entire game.
But do you think he looks slow? See, to me, he doesn't. And maybe I understand what you're saying. It might not look that way.
Yeah.
I watched a play yesterday that he made in Sunday's game where there was a screen play, I think, to Freeman. I don't think it was to Lindsey, but I think it was to Freeman. And, Yannick's rushing up the field, peels around, and chases down the screen some 10, 12 yards down the field.
I know what you're talking about.
That play?
Yes, I do.
Really good play because it would have been a big chunk of yards.
Well, and that's one of those plays where you can just be like, oh, he's fine. And, you don't make that tackle, like you said, that could be 8-8 out the gate.
And so I would say from a speed, it didn't look hampered there, right? He looked fine there.
Sure.
And would that show up? Would a hamstring show up in that situation?
Yeah, so here's the difference, though, Brent. When you're talking speed like that, where you can just, you're not in your stance, that's a little different. The big thing I'm talking about is when you're in, that track stance, your 4-point stance, or even a 2-point stance. And literally, your first step is the most important thing. If you're hampered by a hamstring, which I assume he is, because if anytime you miss a game for a hamstring, listen, I mean, Yannick Ngakoue is a guy that hasn't missed a lot of games in his career. I don't think he's missed any until was it Tennessee?
It was second one, Houston.
Houston, thank you. So the fact that he even missed the game in the first place, especially during a contract negotiation, tells me he was really hurt. Now, can a hamstring heal over time? Yeah, but even in 2 weeks, it's not going to be 100%. And I'm telling you, if it's not 100%, you're going to feel it. That's going to affect your pass rushing.
Okay, there are other parts to this story, though.
There are.
And I don't know where the hamstring is. He's playing through it. And he's gutting it out. And by the way, if you want, I'm not even trying to use this as a juxtaposition to Jalen Ramsey and his tight back and all that.
No,
okay, not going there, at least not yet. But is he playing better than his numbers are showing? See, I think we came off that first game against Kansas City. And we're like, where was the pressure? Where is everything? Where nobody got home. They weren't even close. Well, it turns out that if you go back and ask people and look at that tape a little bit more and see where they were, Mahomes getting rid of it quick, but they also were pretty close on a lot of plays.
Correct.
And I think the other day I saw some plays where I thought Yannick Ngakoue was pretty close. I thought Josh Allen was close on a couple plays. I know close is close, but the bottom line is they're right there. And you're talking about inches sometimes and making a play and a big play and everybody talking differently about you. So are there hidden things like the screenplay that I was talking about? Are there other plays that he's like, ooh, so close, but they decided on this play to get rid of it in a second and a half, and nobody's getting home?
And listen, to be fair, yeah, because that screenplay stands out because that's more effort, right? Like it doesn't take talent, it doesn't take the ability to rush the passer. It just takes the want to. And Yannick Ngakoue on that play showed the want to. Now, unfortunately, you don't make the big bucks with want to. Right, like you have to combine the want to with sacks and things of that nature. But it's like you mentioned, the pressures. So last year, people want to say, well, the Jaguars' defense regressed a little bit, right? They want to say Yannick Ngakoue didn't have as good as a year because maybe he was getting game planned a little more, and teams are starting to focus on Yannick Ngakoue. I don't know how many sacks and where the Jaguars finished last year in terms of sack production, but I do know that the Jaguars finished top 5 last year in number of pressures on the quarterback. And that's a telling number too, because if you watch the Jaguars last year, the defensive line wasn't the problem. I think the defensive line was one of the bright spots of the team. So it's hard, right? Because pressures affect the game so much. A pressure can cause an interception. A pressure can cause a quarterback to just throw the ball away. A pressure can change the outcome of a game, Brent. But unfortunately, teams that are trying to pay a new player or pay a guy that's been in the system for a while, teams don't look at pressures that much. Like they may here and there, but sacks is the big number.
Yeah.
And then the strip sack fumbles.
You can use in the negotiations. You can use it. Well, there's only had 6 sacks, or only had this many sacks and maybe the Jags did use that. He only had 9.5 sacks, I think, last year. Didn't have it coming off a 14-sack season.
Yeah.
Only, I say. But I'm just telling you from a negotiation standpoint, maybe you're probably right. Even though, wait a minute, let's look inside these numbers a little bit more.
Yeah.
Look at that hustle play. Look at how close he is. Look at the pressures. Look at moving off a spot, which is an important thing. So I think if you ask the front office, maybe, compared to maybe if you ask a D-line coach, you might get different answers on those kind of things, to your point. But I've got 2 big questions on this. One is, did the Jags make the right move waiting then?
See, that depends, though.
And I shouldn't say waiting because apparently there was an offer of some kind. But my thing is not moving the offer up and saying, oh, we got to go get it right now. Instead, kind of keeping their position. Did they make the right move by not paying him?
Well, let's be honest, though. You could say, well, yeah, because say Yannick Ngakoue has below 10 sacks, then you could say, well, yeah, maybe we did make the right decision. But you still have to assume that Yannick Ngakoue wants to be here. I understand he's under contract, so technically he is a Jacksonville Jaguar for what, 2 more?
No, this is it, but they can franchise him.
Okay, you can franchise him.
And then they'll have to make that decision based on, will you franchise a guy for $18 million if he does only have 6 sacks or something like that?
Yeah, and then that's another topic, down the line. But you have to ask yourself the question, does he want to be here then?
Yeah.
At least if you locked him up during training camp, during the summer, well, he's tied to your team then. You show that, yeah, we're going to pay you this much. You're part of our team now. Fantastic. Who knows what happens with this whole Jalen Ramsey saga? Who knows what happens there? And who knows if it has a direct effect or a direct correlation to Yannick Ngakoue? Because now all of a sudden you lose your best corner. You lose one of the best corners in the league. That affects your pass rushing abilities a little bit. Hate to say it. And we'll see with Calais Campbell as well. A big thing with pass rushing as well is you have to have that dominant 3 technique as well. It goes hand in hand. So if you're Yannick Ngakoue right now and you're not getting paid yet, you want to see how this season pans out, and you want to see what happens and who leaves and who stays, because that's going to have a direct correlation of if you want to be in Jacksonville or not.
All right, hang with us, Coos, for one more second, because I got the final part of this, and I think this is the question that needs to be asked. And it's kind of a combo one. I'll give it to you in these. Did Yannick Ngakoue make a mistake not taking the deal? Whatever deal it was.
Sure.
It's debatable whether it was 17 million, whether it was 19 million, where it wasn't as like it was reported, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fine. It was more than 2 million, is my point.
Of course.
So did he make a mistake not taking whatever deal was out there, or at least maybe working more toward the deal on their side or his side or however that stopped? And secondly, to that, is there a point where frustration could set in because of everything else that's going on? He wants to have a monster year, and the numbers aren't adding up just yet. Do we have to keep an eye on maybe potential frustration?
So, first question, did he make a mistake by not taking the money right now up front? And I say no. Because at the end of the day, Yannick Ngakoue bet on himself. And I'm never going to fault a player, whether it turns out in the long run or not. I get it, hindsight's 20/20. But where I'm sitting right now after week 4, I'm never going to fault a player for believing in themselves and thinking, you know what, I'm going to go out there to get 15 sacks, 16 sacks, and make the big money. Not going to fault Yannick Ngakoue whatsoever. Still plenty of season left. To answer your second part, there is still a lot of there's still a lot of games left to be played, Brent. So as far as the season's concerned, I mean, I think Aaron Donald. I don't think Aaron Donald even has a sack. He may have acquired one against Tampa Bay, but the first 3 games, I don't think Aaron Donald.
I don't think
even
they
had
did
a
much
sack.
on defense against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of where I'm getting at.
And Miller and Chubb didn't have one for the first 3 games.
But Jacksonville didn't have a sack at all against Denver, Brent. And we watched a Green Bay team feast on that Denver offensive line. And Green Bay, hey, listen, I love you Packer fans, but you're going to come with me on this one. They have an island of misfit toys right now at rush linebacker. They have Smith and Smith. One guy was from one guy was from Baltimore, other guy from Washington. If I tell you the names of their rush linebackers, I guarantee 80% of the people won't recognize their names, but they still made a name for themselves against Denver. So this goes hand in hand with what we've been talking about, Brent, where for whatever reason, the Jaguars have been struggling rushing 4 straight up. And when you have problems doing that, whether it's Calais, and I get it, Calais had a huge game, but we haven't really heard of Josh Allen getting the backfield that much in terms of pass rushing, getting the sacks. We haven't obviously heard of Yannick Ngakoue. Now, Smoot had one, but I think that it needs to be said, well, you got to take a look at what you have right now and ask yourselves, why isn't this working?
Yeah, because you said it as you look back. And we're going to talk more about it tomorrow.
We talked about it a bunch.
But that front 4 just alone isn't getting home. Now, again, I think it's a little – don't look at just the 0. I think it's close. Yannick Ngakoue, Allen, Calais. Oh, remember that? It almost forced the interception?
Yeah.
So I think it's close. It's just not getting home right now for the numbers. Here's my thought on what I just asked you. And I thought about this a lot last night. I was thinking about the Yannick situation as I was watching him make some maybe more plays than being shown, and not necessarily highlight, but I think when they break him down in the team room and the film room, I think he's playing pretty good, playing okay. So I think there's more to it. But I also think, while I would say on the face value, it's like, oh, did he miss? He made a mistake. I mean, he's playing for $2 million. I think you got to be careful on looking at it that way, because he didn't just have a $2 million lottery ticket or, say, an 18, 19, 17, whatever it is, $1 million lottery ticket, and it was just gone if he didn't cash it in within a year.
Good point.
Either way, if the Jags franchise tag him, he's going to make big bucks. If the Jags let him walk because they don't want to pay $18 million, $19 million for a franchise tag, he's still going to make big bucks. He's got 30 career sacks. Even if it's 13, 14 million, 15 million, whatever it might be, he might lose some money based on this year. He might. I mean, that's just the way it's tracking right now. Because are you going to sign a guy to a $20 million per year deal if he's coming off a 6 or 7 sack season? If that's the way it pans out, I would say no. But he's still going to get 13, 14 million per year, whatever it is. It's a high-paid premium position.
It is.
He's going to make a lot of money. So, did he gamble on himself and you respect that? Absolutely. Did he throw away a lottery ticket? Absolutely not. He's still sitting on a lottery ticket. And who knows? Again, I think he's playing a little bit better than the numbers look like right now. And all it takes is a couple of games to get those numbers stacked up, too.
It seems like it happens in waves, Brent. Like one game, you don't have any sacks, and the next game, all of a sudden, the defensive line's feasting. There's blood in the water. It's just the way it works.
Interesting situation, though. It's an interesting situation that we monitored all off season, and now here it is materializing, and we all kind of had our eyes on it, but I think it's forgotten with all the other storylines of where this ends up. And, I mean, I think everybody, I think the team is, I think people want to say, are rooting for him to get to however many it takes to get to that big contract. I know that's the public opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the fans are rooting for him.
Yeah.
And I think also it shows against Denver. 0 sacks. As much talent as this defensive line has, you can't have enough of it.
True.
Because as much talent as they had, they still came away with a goose egg in sacks. So everybody who thought, oh, we got Josh Allen now. You don't need Yannick Ngakoue. Hold the phone. Stop the car. You can't have enough of them. And you have no idea where Calais' situation will land you next year, Marcel Daria's situation will land you, all those kind of things. You need Yannick Ngakoue on this football team. Not just this year, I think, but going forward.
Agreed.
It will just be a matter of how much.
Yeah.
And if they get something done. All right, some balling and falling coming up. A little stay in your lane as well. Maybe we'll talk a bit of baseball for your Brewers. It's a big night for you. Throw some dogs on the fire.
Yeah, it's a big night for me, and it's a big it's a big playoff push here for you as well, man.
Time.
Stakes have never been higher for you.
I'm all in. It's debatable if I'm more in now or last year when the Red Sox made a run for the World Series.
Here we go.
It might be this year. That's how bad I want to win. That's how big my ego is. Pride on the line.
I mean, really, the whole show's kind of riding on this whole thing. No pressure.
It really is.
Yeah.
My ego. Next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Scattered showers will be heavy in spots into this evening as temperatures tonight drop to around 70 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
All right, it's time for some straight talk. You wouldn't pay $100 for seats to a baseball game where you can get the same seats for $50. So why pay more on your wireless when you can get the same 4G LTE networks for up to half the cost? For $45 a month, get our unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data from Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
If you've bought Nike or Adidas shoes lately, I'm sorry. Sorry that you didn't just get yourself some Skechers, because Skechers have all the performance and comfort you could ever dream of for less. Just ask Skechers elite runner Edward Cheserek, who tied the world record for the fastest 5K, or the nurse who's comfortable on her feet all day thanks to Skechers air-cooled memory foam, or people wearing Skechers Go Walks who feel like they're walking on clouds. They'll all say no shoes perform better and are as comfortable as Skechers. Find Skechers at a Skechers store near you or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds, that guarantees you a $500 gift card if they can't beat anybody's price on a diamond.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you.
Okay.
Then you need to be online where they look for you.
Online, huh?
Then you need to be involved in the community. Then you need to...
Whoa. I don't have time for all that. I need to run my business. Alexa, can you help me find someone that can help me with online marketing?
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions, your local marketing team putting you at the top of mind. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today and let us take your business to the next level so you can get back to running it. Local Solutions, powered by Cox Media Group. Marketing solved.
Rise and shine. It's here. Beards Diamonds Tacori and Baraggio weekend.
This Saturday and Sunday only.
This is the event people wait for all year.
Never before seen styles from two of the biggest designers.
And only at Beards Diamonds. We've flown the entire Tacori and Baraggio bridal and fashion collection straight from Los Angeles for this special event.
You already know the craftsmanship, but now you can match these one-of-a-kind settings and save 20% off GIA certified Beards Diamonds.
And special 0% financing, plus up to $5,000 in Amex gift cards with qualifying purchases.
It's the perfect time to kickstart your holiday shopping. This weekend only.
See astonishing, never-before-seen, trend-setting styles. Something for everyone. But it's this weekend only, October 5th and 6th.
And only at Beards Diamonds, home of the $500 best price guarantee.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Shop the 904.
We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
When you shop locally owned businesses, most of the money you spend with them stays right here in our community.
Locally owned and operated businesses give our community character by offering unique options for shopping and dining.
They are a big part of what makes living in the 904 so great.
Shop the 904.
Local businesses are also the ones who give more back to the community by supporting local charities and sponsoring your kids' sports teams.
This holiday season, when you shop the 904, you're also giving the gift of helping your local community stay unique.
Sure, it's tempting to try to save a few bucks shopping the giant online or national retailers, but those few bucks you save would do more for our local economy if you shop local.
Shop the 904 and help keep our community unique.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
Rise and shine. It's here. Beards, Diamonds to Corey and Viraggio weekend.
This Saturday and Sunday only.
This is the event people wait for all year.
You already know the craftsmanship, but now you can match these one-of-a-kind settings and save 20% off GIA certified Beards Diamonds.
And special 0% financing, plus up to $5,000 in Amex gift cards with qualifying purchases.
Don't miss the Tacori and Viraggio weekend this Saturday and Sunday.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
I'm Jake Mitchell. The Jags earned themselves some time off from practice this week after a victory in Denver. Here's Coach Marone telling the guys they don't have to come in on Monday or Tuesday.
We're going to go on the road next week playing another good team in Carolina, okay? All right, so I want you guys to make sure you get your lift in, all right, before I see your sorry asses on Wednesday.
This also means we have no idea where the Jalen Ramsey status is. In the meantime, baseball playoffs start tonight with a wild card matchup featuring Milwaukee and the Nationals, and then again tomorrow with Tampa and Oakland. Playoffs start for real, on Thursday. Former Jag Jonathan Cyprien was part of a trade earlier today between Atlanta and Philadelphia. Eagles have acquired Duke Riley, a linebacker, and a 2026 round pick from Atlanta in exchange for safety Jonathan Cyprien and a 2027th round pick. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
By the way, Doug Marone's not off the hook on this, in my opinion, either. What do you mean it's emotional? I kind of forgot what happened. He knows exactly what happened. That's what he said in the postgame. He didn't want to address it either.
You almost got in a fight. You got to remember what happened.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jag.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You got the chipmunks out?
The chipmunks, huh?
How about that?
Audio crash.
That was. I think that was going to be Chris Conley from last night's Top Golf Jags Report Live. I tell you what, man. Listen, I tried to find somebody that could talk sports on the radio and like outside the box. So here you are.
Thank you, man. I'm trying.
If Chris Conley retires in a couple of months, you're fired.
You know what? And I'm not even be mad about that. Like I watched the show a little bit, and dude's talented.
He's good.
Dude's very comfortable.
He's really good.
Yeah.
I don't think he's done a lot of it either. But we don't
very well spoken.
We didn't really prep him.
Yep.
And it's kind of one of those things where you go through some of the plays, like the Minshew plays.
Yeah.
And so he's seeing it on the monitor. And quite frankly, it's a connection thing. Mm-hmm. So sometimes what you're seeing on the monitor might not actually, it might skip kind of like that. Or it might get caught up and frozen.
Sure.
I mean, he doesn't miss a beat. He's really good. Mm-hmm. And we knew that right away, right? We talked to him in the spring and OTAs and then in camp. And
first interview, you knew that.
You just knew it. He's an interesting guy. The Star Wars stuff, the surfs. And he's a good player.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about Conley is I think he showed it on that final drive, that one play where he got another few yards that Lambo was talking about.
Yeah.
But he's tough. Remember maybe it was the Thursday night game. Didn't he run over a defensive back and drag them right across the first down marker?
I think that was Tennessee.
I think it was Tennessee. Mm-hmm. But I think he can be a fast guy.
Yeah.
He's been labeled fast guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's also a tough guy, like almost like Dede. Dede is not you don't think of him as a physical receiver.
But he has some of that dog in him. Yeah, and to be fair, a lot of wide receivers out there, they're kind of like that prima donna, right? Like they make the catches, but they would rather run out of bounds and be safe as opposed to lowering your shoulder and truck sticking somebody. But that's a great point you brought up with Dede, with Conley. I mean, even I think DJ Chark's got a little bit of that in him. And that's kind of rare, especially from a whole wide receiving core.
Yeah, holy cats, by the way. When I was watching that game, that the third down play to lead to the 23-17 field goal to Chark.
Oh, yeah.
Another underrated throw by Minshew. And a good catch. It was good coverage by Chris Harris, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness. I mean, we don't talk some of these plays. I know there's some crazy, miraculous plays Minshew's making. But some of those throws, they just pop to me. Like, again, I'm average Joe guy when it comes to X's and O's.
Yeah.
I don't sit here and grade people's arms. I don't go that way. I don't pretend to. I know a lot of people on the radio do. I don't.
Yeah.
And that's not how I look at the game a lot of times.
Yeah.
But now you go back a little bit and look at some of that, and you're like, man, that was a good throw. That was a good catch. That was a good play.
And I was doing the same thing. What about Gardner Minshew fumbling the ball, picking the ball back up, making the pass, and then drawing the roughing the passer? Like,
I know.
You want to talk about Uncle Rico play? Like, he looked like Uncle Rico on that play, man. Drops the ball, like, kind of sidearms it a little bit.
He should have sidearmed it.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the one he should have done.
Yeah. But that was awesome.
But I saw some Denver stuff talking about that was a phantom pass, a roughing the passer. I think that was a good call, man.
Yeah.
By the book, I think it was a good call.
And listen,
his head got jarred around as it got hit. Like he got. If you go back and look, don't worry. We want to see if it hit him in the face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it hit him kind of below, like in the chin, and that was harder to tell because there was a body in the way, at least the angle I saw. But if you watch his head on the play, and that's what I think the officials seeing, like his head goes completely sideways and then spins back around.
Exactly. Anytime that's going to happen, you're going to make that call, regardless if it's Gardner Minshew or Tom Brady. You're making that call.
Yeah, I think so. I think they made the right call. I mean, again, I saw it today in Denver. They're like, they could be 4-0 because of a phantom this, phantom that, phantom this. Well, and that was their phantom call.
Yeah.
I just don't. Well, nobody in Denver is saying, hey, we got away with an ineligible man downfield on the touchdown.
Exactly. And to be fair, you can go back and forth and say, well, Gardner Minshew got hit a couple times below the waist, so that maybe should have been called, maybe shouldn't have been called, whatever. But he wasn't happy with the one in the first half.
I actually think the Jags got a little lucky on the DJ Hayden third down pass defense. He had his arm wrapped.
Okay.
If you go back and watch it, but that was not the possession they go down and score. It was one that they got him off the field before that.
Yeah.
And I thought that sometimes from where the official's sitting will be interference. Now, Lofton, who's doing the game with Catalan, said he's like, he doesn't tug him.
Yeah.
And so therefore the official's like, well, it didn't impede. He just kind of got his hand there.
Yeah.
Still, that's one that can be judged wrong sometimes. I think they got a bit of a break that wasn't interference because that play over the middle, one-on-one, when you're diving across the body and your hand's on the side, 9 out of 10 times the official's going to throw that flag.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
It's just funny to me that Denver's trying to point to that one play as well.
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to be, listen, Denver, I understand you guys are struggling right now, haven't won a game. You got this new defense coming with Vic Fangio. You think it's going to be all, sunshine and rainbows. Unfortunately, Kuz, that was your cue.
Sunshine and rainbows.
Thank you very much. But unfortunately, it's not like that for Denver right now. So, I mean, if you want to blame something on Denver, blame Joe Flacco right before the half, throwing a nice softball to Ronnie Harrison.
Yeah.
No,
that's the play. That's
so,
the play. Whatever. I mean, that's fine. And I love blaming the officials, too, when things go wrong. Jags have been not the beneficiary of many calls.
Yeah,
and listen, they got some against them that I thought were like, wait a minute. And they got some probably for them that I thought, okay, that's a nice little break there. And like I always say, man, if you win games in the National Football League, you're usually catching a break here or there.
Correct.
And that's an okay thing. So, but I thought that was they evened each other out. I didn't think there was anything egregious across the board that was like, man, I can't believe that cost Denver or that cost the Jags or helped the Jags. I really didn't feel that way from an officiating standpoint, even though there were a lot of flags on the Jacksonville Jaguars. A quick thought. We were talking about Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place right now.
You're fine, man.
I like a ton of energy for 5:35 on a Tuesday.
I like it, man. It's contagious. I'm getting energy, too.
Good.
I have to go train in 30 minutes here, so I appreciate
it. What do you got today? What are you going to do?
Sparring today. Big sparring
I'll tell
day.
you, the amount of energy I have right now, you're lucky you're not sparring me.
All right, fair enough.
Just telling you.
Okay.
I'd have that belt around my waist. But Kuz was talking, we were talking about Aaron Donald, right? And Yannick Ngakoue.
Yep.
Aaron Donald ends up with, I did not know this until Kuz brought it up. Aaron Donald ends up with 20 sacks last year.
Yeah.
I knew that part. He didn't have a sack in 6 games.
Correct.
6 games he didn't have a sack, and he ended up with 20.
Yeah.
He was shut out in 6 games.
And didn't have one for the first 3 games last year.
And that was the other part of it. That's the interesting tie to like an Ngakoue. He had 0 through 3 games. And then ended up with 20
they come in
the
waves,
final
man.
13. So, again, that's kind of what we were talking about with Ngakoue. I think he's closer.
Sure.
I think he's playing better than people think. And keep in mind, he missed 1 game. So he actually has only played 3 games.
There you go.
Interesting thought on Ngakoue. But I really didn't. That was a holy cow moment on Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
I mean, that is ridiculous. So he had 20 sacks in 10 games, essentially.
Pretty much, man.
But if you think about it the way Calais Campbell, he had 4.5 sacks against Houston. He had a monster game, I think, like 2.5 sacks against Miami last year.
Yeah.
He had 3 sacks this year against Tennessee. You need that. I mean, it's like baseball. Sometimes you're going to have 5-hit games, and then you're going to go 2 weeks and hit like one hit, go 1 for 5. But that 5-hit game carries the day until you have a 3-hit game 2 weeks later.
Yep.
And they all average out. So
and that's the beauty of it, too. When teams are negotiating contracts, Brent, they don't go back to, well, how consistent was he like per game? No. You can have 5 sacks in one game and maybe like 4 sacks the other game, 9 sacks total, not bad. You're getting paid regardless. Doesn't matter how many games you get those in. So
it is true. I mean, that's just the way it happens. But you can do that. In the past, in fact, you could do that with some of the Jags games, like what they did against Indianapolis. They'd really play well against Indianapolis.
Sure.
Maybe Blake Bortles. So when people were arguing against Bortles when he got the contract extension, it might have been, yeah, but look what he did just against Indianapolis when they stunk. Look what he did against everybody else. I don't think teams look at it that way. I think you're right.
No.
I think it's kind of like, here's the resume. Here's what the numbers say. The agents are saying, hey, this is what we have. This is what it is. I don't care what game it came in. This is what we got.
And this is what teams are saying, too. For instance, the Carolina Panthers. Jacksonville's going to Carolina this week. I guarantee the defensive coordinator now for the Carolina Panthers is saying, we have the top 3 rusher in the NFL right now coming to our stadium. We got to stop him.
Yeah.
It happened in one game. But guess what? That's not how the coaches are going to approach it. That's not how agents are going to approach it. It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. How about some balling and falling? Let's get it done.
Yeah, balling. So we didn't do balling and falling yesterday, did we?
Well, no, because we had when the show was fantastic because it is.
Thank you. Yes.
First of all.
Yes.
But like some of these days, we went a whole week with Ramsey talk and didn't do balling and falling or
didn't
stay
even
in your
notice. Lane. Didn't even skip a beat.
No.
So this is my balling from yesterday, but hey, it's still topical. Balling actually going to Tony Romo, and I'm gonna throw a little shade on your boy Phil Mickelson. So Tony Romo at his PGA Tour event went 5 strokes better than Phil Mickelson in the first round. Facts.
So he played in that Safeway? Mickelson did?
Correct.
Now, what did he do in the second round? Tell the whole story.
Hey, Brent, this is balling. And Tony Romo is balling for his first day at the tournament where he outshot Phil Mickelson by 5 strokes. The end. There is no sequel. There is no epilogue. Okay.
My balling is going to be more of who will be balling because I want to get a little baseball talk in without spending a lot of time on it.
Yeah.
And you got Milwaukee and the Nats tonight. How nervous are you? See, one game playoffs, all this work, all season long. Yeah. And I don't care what anybody says. I think tonight, fans like you, I think players, I think managers, I think this gets the butterflies going more than anything. Like, I think you could play in the World Series and have less butterflies and nerves than this one.
One game
because
take
it's a
all,
one
man.
and done.
I know.
Man, and here's the thing that scares the heck out of you with a one and done is that you just don't have it. And something goes wrong. And you know what's even worse is like in the first inning, you have this like crazy bad inning and you give up 8 runs and it's over. You got to sit there for like the next 8 innings for 3 more hours and you know it's over. And that's what can happen. That's why I don't like one-game things.
It's weird. Like maybe like a 3-game series.
Yeah, the one-off stinks. I understand it's really hard. You already did everything, and at least we're getting other teams involved. But I don't love the one game. I don't have a great solution for it either. Yeah. But that's a scary night, I think, if you're tomorrow night for Tampa and Oakland and for you and Washington tonight.
And obviously it sucks being the weight team too, right? Like you have a big home field advantage. So, yeah.
Do you in baseball, though? See, I don't think that bothers me. You know why? Because you got a guy on the bump. True. That's the great neutralizer.
Yeah.
So I understand. Now, listen, playoff baseball is different.
Yep.
I'm not saying Milwaukee wouldn't be rocking. Washington will be rocking.
They will be.
Like Tampa, I'm not sure would have been rocking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah. We're talking about Milwaukee and Washington. Am I nervous? Yes, because they have Scherzer going, who's one of the best pitchers in the game. Now, granted, he's been a little cooler towards the end of the season, so that gives me optimism. But Milwaukee's got, Christian Yelich, he's the heart and soul of that team, out for the season. Braun's limited. Braun kind of took over for Yelich to be that leader. Braun's now limited. And Lorenzo Cain, who's been their stud in the outfield and been Mr. Clutch for them the past week or so, he's nursing an ankle injury. So they're kind of hobbling into this wild card game. They have Brandon Woodruff starting on the mound. But you know what Craig House is going to do. And it was the story of why they won 18 of the last 20 games because they changed up their pitching, right? Where maybe they pitch a guy, they'll pitch Woodruff for 2 or 3 innings, they bring in a new guy because they don't look at it per inning. They look at it, we have to get 27 outs. How can we best use our pitchers, our relief pitchers, the most efficiently? And that's what Council's a genius of doing. And it's funny we're on this topic, actually. So, yeah, obviously I have the Milwaukee Brewers winning because I'm a homer.
You should. You better.
I will. But here's what I'm curious of seeing. And this kind of affects your Huckleberry bet a little bit. Uh-oh. Breaking down the Twins-Yankees real quick. So the Yankees, they're probably the front runners, right? Like they have all this power, but we know sometimes power doesn't get you to the World Series.
I hate the Yankees.
But the thing with the Yankees, though, Brent, I think you'll agree with me here. This is a weird Yankees team where they don't really have that ace that has a lot of playoff experience. Like you would say maybe Tanaka, but Tanaka's never really been in the playoffs. He's never been on that World Series push. So I'm wondering, and listen, I'm taking a shot in the air here. I'm wondering if you start to see more teams, maybe like the Yankees, who maybe have a little more strength in their bullpen than they do in their starting pitching, start to implement Craig Counsell's thing where they use, the bullpen early on. Yeah, and Tampa as well. Use it early on, like in the third or fourth inning. You take Tanaka out, put your relief pitchers in.
Well, you bring up a good point, and probably just kind of indicated it too. But the fact that they have gone this route before, and I'm not talking about the Yankees, I'm talking more about the Brewers.
Sure.
In this kind of setting, where you can get to that pen early and be used to it, might be a big thing tonight.
It is.
For Milwaukee, because again, you're on a short leash. I mean, heck, I'm like, you get 2 runners on, nobody out, I'm going to the bullpen. I mean, it's that kind of night.
You have to.
I mean, it's staff day.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's a tough thing. This is a hard game to manage.
It is.
Really hard game. Now, people will say managing in baseball doesn't matter anymore. This one's a hard game to manage.
It absolutely matters. Yeah, it matters big time. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Do you like it? Seriously, where's your confidence? As a Brewers fan, where's your confidence?
If we're being wholeheartedly,
you got Scherzer, man.
Yeah, it's Scherzer, and if you look at that lineup top to bottom, Washington's got him beat pretty much everywhere. And the fact that Braun's a little injured, Lorenzo Cain's injured, you can't feel really that confident. What's going to keep the Brewers in it, obviously, is their bullpen and that rotation. If they can get some good innings out of Woodruff from the start, obviously you can maybe bring in Hader for maybe 2 or 3 innings. We'll see if they unleash Hader.
In high-leverage situations.
Yes, exactly.
It's my new favorite word in baseball.
I like that, man. We'll see. I'm not the most confident, but I'm hopeful, Brent. Sometimes that's all you can do.
We got a lot to get to. We got Fallen. We got our Baker Sports Coach of the Week in the high school ranks, and even a little stay in your lane if you got something.
Oh, I got something.
Okay, that's next on ESPN 690. Hey, everybody, this is Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. You hear us daily on ESPN 690 from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Make sure to catch Action Sports Jacks primetime every Saturday and Sunday all year long. 10:30 on Fox 30 and 11:30 on CBS 47. Action Sports Jacks primetime on Saturdays and Sundays the entire year. And always make sure to tune in from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. with Austin Lane and me on ESPN 690.
Vida de Louis, a locally owned tequila right here in Jacksonville, wants to help our friends in the Bahamas. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vida de Louis is one of the smoothest tequilas you'll ever taste. It's made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. But Vida de Louis has friends all over the world, and that includes in the Bahamas. Help us raise money for the Treasure Key Relief Fund and Hopetown Rising.
Check out Vida de Louis on social media and the website VitaDeLouis.com.
50% of all merchandise will go to these funds. Please help Vida de Louis help the Bahamas by going to VitaDeLouis.com.
WOKV AM's license will expire on February 1st, 2020. We have filed an application for renewal with the FCC. A copy of this application is available for public inspection at www.fcc.gov. It contains information concerning this station's performance during the last 8 years. Individuals who wish to advise the FCC of facts relating to our renewal application and to whether this station has operated in the public interest should file comments and petitions with the FCC by January 2nd, 2020. Further information concerning the FCC's broadcast license renewal process is available at 11700 Central Parkway, Unit 1, Jacksonville, Florida, 32224, or may be obtained from the FCC, Washington, D.C. 20554. www.fcc.gov.
time to register for the 16th annual USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K, one of the premier running events in the Southeast. It all happens Saturday, October 12th, starting at Metro Park. It's a family-friendly event featuring high-tech military vehicles and prizes. Proceeds benefit the Jacksonville USO and other military charities. The USO Armed Forces Half Marathon and Freedom 5K, happening October 12th. Don't wait. Register today online at jacksusohalfmarathon.com.
We're local, you're local, shop local. This holiday season, shop local retailers right here in the 904.
When you shop local retailers, you're making an investment in our own community.
Shop the 904.
Powered by Cox Media Group.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Thomas Rhett's coming to the VyStar Veterans Memorial Arena on Friday, and ESPN 690 has your free tickets to the show. Listen to Action Sports Jacks all this week at 4:15 for your chance to win. See Thomas Rhett live from ESPN 690.
Hey, this is Dennis Anderson, the driver of Gravedigger Monster Truck, the baddest monster truck in the land. You're listening to Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Starting off the season 0-2 is very difficult for a team. Like I said, emotions can run high. A lot of things can happen in a locker room. But over the course of that time, Coach Marone and the other coaches have done a great job of refocusing the team, telling us to ignore the outside noise and to go back to work each and every week. And over the course of these last two games, guys have still come out every single drive, every single play with the intent to win.
That's Chris Conley last night on Jags Report
Man, that guy's
Live.
good.
He's good, man.
Dude,
he's smooth.
Every time you play the audio, I get a little more nervous. Not going to lie.
I think he's got some more football left in him. I think he has a little bit of time.
10 years at least.
Hey, we'll get Chris Conley on when you go to like the national guys and become this big radio star.
I ain't going anywhere, man.
So then we'll
you
go
guys
to
are my
Conley.
family, man. I ain't going anywhere.
We got to get Conley to join us on the radio side, too.
For
we'll
sure.
hopefully do
Did
that
you ask
soon.
him a Star Wars question? You probably didn't. You probably forgot.
I forgot.
That's okay.
What was it again?
I'll ask him myself if he thought The Last Jedi was a good movie. Because
yeah.
remember, because we asked Jake Ryan that one, and we know what happened to Jake Ryan.
I know, so I got to be careful.
Just saying. I would hate to come on your show and have to throw him off his own show because he likes The Last Jedi. That'd be unfortunate.
Just threw Chris Conley off the top deck of Topgolf. Just because he didn't like...
Yeah,
exactly. It's a Florida Man story.
We gave him a 5-question quiz on Star Wars, nailed him.
Okay.
He got a little, I think the one question was a 12 or 10 answer, and he was like 10, but he got 12. So we kind of gave it to him. But he knows his Star Wars stuff.
I like
Let's just
it.
say that. Me, on the other hand, I didn't even know the questions we asked. All right, hey, it's time for our Baker Sporting Goods, Baker Sports Coach of the Week, High School Game of the Week. This week will be Sandalwood and Rains. We're going to the Graveyard on Friday. Looking forward to that one. Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Should be a lot of fun. Make sure you check it out. Not only the audio, but also the video. Last week, we're at Mandarin and Nice, and the connection for the video wasn't great, and we run into that sometimes, a little beyond our control, but we're just trying to add to the radio broadcast with it, so it's kind of an add-in. Appreciate your patience with it. But we cut up 10 minutes of that game, of all the highlights, so you can always go back and see that on Action Sports Jacks and on ESPN 690, Facebook, YouTube, all of the above. But our Baker Sports Coach of the Week this week, we're going to give it to Ponte Vedra's Jeff DeSandro. They are 5-0, the Sharks. And he replaced Coach Matt Toblin, who went to Bowles. And they lost some talent. They lose Toblin, who's a very good coach, to Bowles. And now Ponte Vedra sits here at 5-0. Impressive first-year job by Coach Jeff DeSandro. So he is our Baker Sports Coach of the Week, and our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week coming up on Friday will be Sandalwood against Rains. Ponte Vedra, by the way, has beaten Nice, Zephyr Hills, Buchholz, Palatka, and Menendez and Matanzas. I think one of those games might have been like a kickoff classic because I think I just named 6 wins. But they get Bartram Trail, so a big one coming up on Friday against the Bartram. Bears. So that is our Baker Sports Coach of the Week. Congratulations to Jeff DeSandro, off to a good start with the Ponte Vedra Sharks. All right, we're going to try to fit as many segments as we can get into one segment in 5 minutes. How about Fallen?
So Fallen, Brent, we got some Mississippi State news, so you know what that means.
Oh, yeah, ring that thing.
That's all you get.
Not a good ring of the bell.
Hey, that's all you get because you're in Fallen today. And do you know why you're in Fallen, Mississippi State fans? Because, and let's stop lying to ourselves and denying what happened. Your mascot, Bully, got absolutely truck sticked by an Auburn player during the first quarter. And people want to say that Bully wasn't backing down. Bully was going to go after him. No, that's not what happened at all. The Auburn player hit the Bulldog. The Bulldog went flying in the gate. He had to go to into IR room a little bit, get checked out. Thankfully, the Bulldog was fine, so that's the most important part. But let's stop lying to ourselves and saying that the Mississippi Bulldog mascot tackled an Auburn player. No, that's not what happened at all. There you go.
All right. Sorry, neighbors. That was all Austin Lane. You said you like him, but not sure after today.
Why I call him like I see him, man.
How about my Fallen is for Bio Kim on the Korean tour? Did you see this?
I thought you said biochem. Like we're talking chemistry now?
No,
I got you.
Bio
Okay.
Kim.
Yeah.
Suspended for 3 years. 3 years for making an obscene gesture during the final round, which is basically the middle finger. I mean,
can I go ahead and call golfer soft?
This is all a cell phone camera shutter went off during his downswing. He flipped off the crowd because of it. He actually won the event. He won the event.
Oh.
And he got suspended by the Korean Tour for 3 years. And I'm sitting here vouching for Vontez Burfict not to get
Burfict almost
suspended
killed a guy.
for the rest of the year after taking off a guy's head.
Can I go ahead and call golfer soft now or not?
I don't know if I'm crazy or the Korean Tour is about as zero tolerance as you get.
Yeah. No middle fingers. That's insane. That's, dude, 3 years. I mean,
sometimes throwing up the middle finger is kind of a cool thing.
Dude, to think about all the marketing that could come from it, because he won the tournament. Dude, if I win a tournament, I'm middle fingers for everybody. Everybody can come get some. Too bad for that guy, man.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I
guess you got to find a new circuit.
By the way, I'm kind of falling for the golfer, but I think it's fallen for the Korean Tour. You can't suspend a guy for 3 years for that.
I was going to say, I mean, maybe the Korean Tour, but let's not make fun of the country of Korea, though.
No, not
doing that. Yeah. Don't do that.
But, I mean, Tiger Woods better watch himself when he goes and plays over there. I mean, what happens if you do an F-bomb off the tee box? I mean, is that a 1 year suspension?
Let's be honest. A fist pump's going to get you at least a year. So there's no more fist pumping, Tiger. All right?
All right.
Act accordingly.
The third segment within a segment.
I know, man. We're getting it all today, and it's all good. So, Cruz hit me with it. There you go. There we go. Got to throw me off my rhythm a little bit.
I was waiting. I
haven't had a clean intro yet in the past 2 months. It's all good, though.
One day, when he nails that, we need the little ding sign or something.
There
right?
we go.
We got to get it.
So, Brent, this Friday, big game for the UFC. The UCF Knights in Cincinnati are taking place Friday night, ESPN, 8 o'clock. It's at Cincinnati. See what Cincinnati's doing?
No.
They are painting
wearing
their
Pittsburgh shirts?
No. They are painting their field black, and they're going to have red for the markers and everything.
Oh, I think I saw a picture of that. Is that what that was?
Gonna be honest, yeah. Looks pretty cool. I'm not mad at that. And then they have giant bear cat eyes. Once again, not sure what a bear cat even is, but there's giant bear cat eyes in the middle of the field and at the 50-yard line.
I think I quickly saw a picture of that.
Looks pretty legit. I'm not mad at it.
Better than the blue turf?
Oh, come on, man.
Doesn't Eastern Washington or something have a red turf?
That'd give me a headache.
Yeah.
But
you like
this.
I love
what
happens when it gets dark out on Friday night? I mean, you not know what you're doing?
Gonna be honest.
Lights better work.
Gonna be honest. Didn't think about that part, and especially if we're wearing black jerseys. How's that going to work for the viewing experience?
I don't know, but I'm interested.
I can't. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tune in now.
Yeah,
I got to
hate
see
that they play college football games on Friday nights.
Yeah,
because I think it's a high school night.
Sure,
but I'm interested in that now.
Ray Lewis, Brent. I'm sure you've been watching like I have, Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it at all.
I have not watched it. Is it started?
I guess so.
They should put Monday Night Football on instead.
So apparently Ray Lewis tore 3 tendons in his foot while practicing the cha-cha. So unfortunately, Ray Lewis is officially out of Dancing with the Stars.
You know, I saw Ray Lewis at the Baltimore game.
Did you really?
Walked right by him. I didn't really. In the buses, we were going to the buses to get on.
The Baltimore game?
Yeah, when,
preseason. Okay, gotcha.
And so I was like, I'm walking by, and he's coming out with a couple other people, and I didn't know. He's got a hat on at the time. And I'm like, Hey, that was Ray Lewis.
You didn't say what's up to him?
I didn't even say. I didn't really recognize it first.
Gotcha.
Hey, that's Ray Lewis.
Nice.
You know, we were both walking with bodyguards.
Obviously.
Hey, we'll catch you on TV tonight, CBS 47 and Fox 30. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks to Morton Buckley for stopping in. Jason Fitz as well. ESPN will be in the Swamp for College Game Day this coming weekend. We'll talk more about the Gators game tomorrow and back to the Jags tomorrow as well as the injury report comes out. Keep an eye on it.
Keep your eyes glued, folks.
We got a story. We didn't mention Jalen Ramsey once today. What the heck's wrong with us? We'll see you on TV. Thanks for listening on ESPN 690.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jacks. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest-growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio